on. Okay, I can't. This browser doesn't like. God damn it. I have to try this one. Doesn't like this browser. Select as our game. Close you down. If it likes this one. Oh, are you kidding me? Come on, come on, come on. If this one's. Why is there no sound?
Hello everyone and welcome to Heidel Ball.
It's quiet as
25. My name is CM Endlave. I'm one of your hosts, and joining me today is CM Kazaka and CM Knox.
Hello, I'm CM Kazaka and I'm super excited to be here. Let's have some fun today.
Yeah.
Hello, adventurers. I'm Sam Knox, and we're excited, I think, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why is it so quiet?
It is an absolute pleasure to be here with you all, chat. I hope you're all very excited. We've got a lot of exciting stuff on the way today. I am very, very excited. Obviously, we know what's going to go on and how it's going to work today. If it's your first time at a Heidel Ball or a Calvian Ball, essentially we have, our jobs is going to pretty much go over the updates that are being said in Korean, and we will be basically telling you what it is in English as best and clearly as possible. So we do hope that we will we'll do our best. And yeah, just sit back, relax, and type Poggy Woggies and chat whenever you guys are happy with an update. But yeah, we're really excited, guys. So it's going to be awesome. Absolutely.
In today's stream, we'll be kind of splitting the roles of each of the MCs.
Yeah.
And, if we'll try our best, of course, to make sure we're translating as live seamlessly as possible. But we hope you understand that it is a live broadcast, and there's always chance for misunderstanding. So
the odd bit of ad lib.
We're bringing our guests on stage, so let's transition back.
Okay. Let's take a look.
And on stage, we're welcoming our heads Chasuk and Won-Soo.
Hello, I'm Jesok Chang, head of Black Desert Live Service. He's ad-libbing.
And I'm Won-Soo Yang, head of Black Desert Game Design.
It's been 6 months since we last saw you. How have you been?
I've been doing well.
Me too. I've been working hard getting ready for today.
Oh, there's a little bit of ad-libbing here where they're joking like,
this
you're looking
is the
good."
part. Sometimes we might go ahead
Yes.
a line or two, chat,
Yeah.
but
I'm
yeah.
coming from the future.
Love
That's
this.
because of the ad lib.
So something special about this Heidel Ball is not actually occurring in the capital region, but on Daejeon actually.
Up until now, the ball has always been held in the capital region, and honestly, seeing adventurers travel long distances just to attend always left me feeling a bit sorry. So we've been wanting to hold a ball in a different region for a long time, and today we finally made it happen, right here in Daejeon, the heart of Korea. It feels really special, and more than anything, I want to sincerely thank all of you who came out in person today. We've got a lot of exciting summer updates to share with you, so whether you're here with us on site or tuning in online, I hope you enjoy the show and have a great day.
And we just had a video of Adania, and we're officially unveiling it today.
Oh,
That's right, we're officially unveiling it today.
Danya!
Adania, at last, I think. I think a lot of our adventurers have been waiting. And
Yeah, that's right. We know many of you have been waiting, so we've been working very hard to bring it to life. We hope today's announcements will be exciting for everyone.
I think we could all say that we're all hyped, but I think today's video had scenes from the old main quest, and it did bring back memories, but were there any deeper meaning to that?
Well, I wouldn't say it's anything too symbolic, but Edania is actually the final chapter in Black Desert's Act 1, so we just wanted to take a moment to look back on the journey so far.
When in this video it starts in Edania, then time seems to rewind all the way back to the ancient stone chamber. What's the meaning behind that?
That was intentional. It's a symbolic way to set the tone for today's updates. The new region, Edania, is meant to be a new pinnacle, a destination to strive for. In the past, we've designed new regions to be as accessible as possible, so that more adventurers could enjoy them. But this time, it's different. Even veteran players will find Edania challenging, right from the start. You'll need real growth, real preparation to go deeper. It's not just another expansion, it's a true end-game region. We want it to feel like a place you look at and think, one day, I want to go there. And I'm going to conquer that place and make it mine.
Come to think of it, previous regions like Morning Light were quite beginner-friendly too, so why'd start today's update story back at the ancient stone chamber?
The ancient stone chamber is the symbolic starting point of every adventurer's journey. So today's update follows the same path, starting as a rookie, getting used to the game, growing step by step, and eventually reaching Edania. We'll be presenting updates for every stage of the journey, with something meaningful for everyone, for newcomers to veterans.
I see it now. So today's theme is all about the road to Edania, a journey step by step. I think I like that. But I have to ask, is there no new class announcement today? There's been rumors flying around. I think everyone's seen it. And people seemed almost sure it was going to be Wukong.
Oh yes, we do have a new character.
There is a new character. Come on.
I made my debut alongside Deadeye as a new class myself, if you remember. And today, we've prepared another new class, but we'll be saving that for the very end of today's reveal.
Oh, they're gonna tickle.
It's been 6 months, so I guess I'm an old class now.
All right, now I guess we'll hand the stage over to you, both, and then they'll be sharing all the updates.
Shall we begin? Let's begin, chat. Let's get ready. Let's prepare at the beginning.
As Jessup mentioned earlier, today's Heidel Ball is all about the adventurer's journey in Black Desert, from the ancient stone chamber all the way to Edania. There are 4 main chapters covered, each with its own theme. So let's jump into chapter 1.
Okay, the journey begins. Chapter 1. I'd like to begin today's reveal under the theme, The Journey Begins. We chose the theme because we wanted to share the excitement of starting a new game, helping new adventurers starting in the game filled with this anticipation get accustomed to the world is something we consider very important. So, we've been offering various benefits and tracking how effective they are. But we noticed an interesting pattern this year. While those who adapted quickly grew at an impressive pace, there were still many who struggled to get familiar with the game, a clear divide in player experience. So, going forward, we want to re-examine the entire early game journey and focus on improving areas that are lacking or confusing. Chat, stop spamming now. Come on, this is important stuff. So I'd first like to talk about UI improvements. One of the most common feedback from new adventurers is that there's too much information on the screen. In particular, notifications about enhancements or items constantly pop up at the top of the screen
turn
and
those
overwhelm
off.
the players. And the world map displays so many icons and functions at once, making it difficult for new adventurers to navigate the map through this sea of info, let alone figure out how to use them.
너무 많은 것들이 보이다 보니까 이걸 되게 좀 어려워하시는 그런 부분들이 있었습니다. 기능은 되게 많은데 이걸 어떻게 활용하지? 이걸 좀
So,
어려웠는데요.
The first
가장
improvement
먼저 이 상단
is
위치
the upper screen
알림부터
notifications. We're separating usual notifications from unnecessary ones, ensuring that the new adventurers aren't overwhelmed and only see what they truly need. For example, things that are not needed in the early parts of the game, such as other adventurers' item enhancement and rare drops, will be displayed by default, while info required for progress such as Black Spirit notifications will be enabled by default. We also know that the veteran adventurers must have found the top notifications inconvenient at times. For example, after a long cooking session, all the cooking complete messages would flood the screen at once, or when multiple world bosses appeared simultaneously, the notifications could get mixed up and confusing. We will address these issues as well as through this update. The top notifications will be synchronized with your most recent actions to prevent the notifications from piling up and display instantly. And their effect has also been shortened and cleaned up to reduce visual clutter. Additionally, several issues related to notifications were fixed. On top of this, in response to popular demand, you'll be able to enable and disable guild members' enhancement notifications on your screen and chat.
온오프 가능하게 해달라고 많이 말씀 주셨는데 이것도 이번 기회에 같이 추가되었습니다.
In English.
Okay, nice. We're starting off with a QOL.
Next, I would like to introduce the improvements to the world map UI. We think even veteran adventurers will really appreciate this one. You'll be able to see where your old family characters are directly on the world map at a glance. Before, if you wanted to check where your alts were, you had to open the endgame menu or go to the character selection screen. Some players even replace their portraits with world boss images to see where they are parked.
Hold on, I have to change.
Now you can
just
simply
for a
click
moment.
Manage Family Character icon at the top right of the world map to check their locations
I don't know if
anytime.
this one's working.
Oh.
Yeah, that's pretty
Basically,
nice,
you can just
actually.
see everything on the world map now.
Pretty cool. Let's take a look at the video.
There's a new button. Oh, it shows kind of all your
okay.
characters in a list.
That is good.
Oh, that's easy.
Back coming.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, you can see
On
where they
close.
are.
Okay.
That's cool. We like that.
So it seems they're displayed by region.
That's a nice
Useful
quality of life.
information. When you zoom out, you see them.
So like each region has like a number and that shows how many characters there are.
Oh, nice.
As we saw in the video, all your family characters' locations are displayed by region and can also be clearly seen on the world map. They will be grouped together as you zoom in and out. And selecting a character from the list on the right instantly moves the camera to their location. If the characters are grouped together, they will be highlighted with an effect.
그리고 만약 그룹으로 묶여 있는 경우에는 그 이펙트로 강조되면서 표시가 또 됩니다. 그래서 기존에
All the features that could be found in the Escape Endgame menu will be available here too. Even the character's energy stacks and mounts can be viewed from the character list on the right. Their inventory can also be seen by selecting them from the list, and this is the most important feature. Through this feature, you no longer need to change to another character in your family to move them to a desired location. Rather than explaining in detail, let's go ahead and watch a video.
나의 가문의 다른 캐릭터를 원하는 위치로 이동시킬 수 있게 됩니다.
Okay.
설명을 하기보다
There's a lot of nice quality of life stuff at the moment, chat.
Yeah. Seems decent.
Okay.
Oh. So each character has a sub menu where you can choose to move them or you can choose to switch
yeah,
to them.
that's nice. Ooh, there it is
Ooh.
by nodes
I
as
like
well.
the
Yeah,
bubbles.
you can move
I like
between
that.
those
That
now.
looks nice.
Yeah, so it's not
I can't
just
read it, but it looks nice.
where, you know, it's not just a main city now, you can actually move them to a node.
Wait, what?
That's nice. That's nice.
Oh, it's all nice having everything in one UI now.
That's W.
네, 보시다시피
Next, as you can see, previously the character
That's
could
a
only be
win.
moved between towns. This feature now allows characters to be moved to nodes as well, meaning you can place your characters where world or field bosses spawn, and for many other convenient purposes. Please note that the travel time remains the same as before, and moving between towns is free, but moving to nodes will cost a small amount of silver.
마을간 이동은 기존과 그대로 무료지만 거점 이동 시에는 소량의 은하가 필요한 점은 참고
That's nice. I like that.
Next, I would like to talk about streamlining the world map UI. As we were developing the grouping feature on zoom-ins and outs for the management of family characters, we took this opportunity to clean up one of the most confusing aspects of the world map, the knowledge icons. Honestly, I was doing the knowledge runs myself. Those icons were often hard to spot. I would constantly zoom in, tilt the map around. We'll improve that so you can see how much knowledge you are still missing in an area, which should make things a lot easier.
That's nice.
Wow.
The world map is an essential UI for adventuring and offers many features, but we have heard from many new adventurers that is still too complicated. With that in mind, we have made some major changes. First, we have separated the main menu from the sub-menu. The filter at the top focuses on most frequent used options, making it much more intuitive to turn it on and off. We have also enhanced node list and search functions, so you can find the information you need more easily. Also, the secondary menus in the bottom right have been removed to the top left, streamlining the overall visual flow. With the knowledge icons better organized, we'll keep refining the map to make it more user-friendly and
Can
polished
they
overall.
optimize the map?
I like this kind of.
I'd actually want
unification,
that. I'd
integration
actually
of
want them to
everything,
optimize the map.
Yeah.
Yes, all this shit, nice,
Okay.
great, cool. Is it going
Next,
to
I'd
make
like
us
to
lose
introduce a new
FPS when we
integrated
open
event
the
page.
map?
Previously, you'd have to check the website to see what was going on. Then open the quests window to accept the event quest. Sometimes, open the world map to find the location and get dice from the bottom right menu. The process wasn't as user-friendly, making it hard to keep track of the events, big or small. So, as you can see on the screen now, you'll be able to view all event information in-game. You can view a full list of ongoing events at a glance. Use the button to get directions to the event location, or accept the starting quest directly. It was also difficult to see how much time was left for each event. But now, events are about to end will be marked with an icon, helping you prioritize which event to do before they expire. That's actually really nice.
네, 다음은요. 지난 코멘터리
Up
영상에서
next, we're going over the buff UI.
버프 현황판입니다.
Next is something we briefly
Yeah, but it's easier
introduced
too
in
You'll
our
be able to
last.
see your buffs from the
It's
Mine
not hard to
Information
do that.
page. From Combat
Love it.
XP to Life
Don't
XP,
struggle.
a total of 33 different buffs will be displayed, so you can view everything at a glance without having to search for every buff individually.
Yeah.
And when you select a specific buff, you'll get detailed information on where the buff is coming from. For example, if you choose Mounted EXP, you'll see exactly how it's being applied, from your character's base effects and pets to events, training levels, and mastery. It will also display how much buff is calculated, so you can clearly understand how each one is working. Oh,
That's pretty nice.
That's really
Feet just got
nice.
suddenly
Okay.
It might seem a bit complex at first, but given how vast Black Desert's content is, we believe that having accurate, detailed info is essential. The new buff UI is built to make sure you're not missing anything, and we'll continue improving systems like this in future updates too.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Okay.
A
That's
better
really
pillow
nice.
for my back. I need a fatter pillow.
Next is the enhancement
not
UI
fat enough.
improvements. There are two major changes. First, a dedicated enhancement material storage, and
Oh!
second, a clearer
That's
and more
great.
intuitive update to enhancement terms and functions. Currently, materials like Advice of Valks and Valk's Cry are scattered across characters and also take up space in your Pearl inventory. With the update, there'll be a new enhancement inventory. Items such as Chromstones, Advice of Valks, Valk's Cry, Fairy's
Thank
Blessing,
you.
and Hammers will
Free
automatically be
space.
stored in this inventory. This inventory can be accessed by your entire family.
Inventory.
and the items can be used directly from it without needing to manually move them. It will be especially helpful for managing all the different types of advice of Valks with this inventory. However, materials like Blackstone or Origin of Dark Hunger, which can be registered on the central market or have other specific uses, will still be managed on an individual character basis as before.
Okay.
That is
That's a huge
partial
really
win.
good.
yeah. That's really,
Still
really
good.
nice.
A lot of
And one of the most confusing aspects of the previous enhancement system was the stacks. Originally, stacks were meant to be a kind of compensation for failure, but became an essential part of the enhancement process. So, we've unified the terminology to enhancement chance and streamlined related features such as Valk's Cry and Devour so they can all be used intuitively within this system. That's really nice. And as you can see from the UI, when you choose to increase enhancement chance, you'll be able to use Valk's Cry and even Devour. As this is more convenient than the current Devour system, we expect it to be a big improvement for the veteran adventurers. And we expect the new adventurers to naturally understand it as a function to increase the enhancement chance.
That's looking really clean.
Yeah.
Naturally
It is
understand
really
it.
It even shows you like recommended.
Next, the term use Cronstone didn't clearly communicate that this feature protects your gear during enhancement. Now, it will be replaced with a much clearer term, level protection. It will also be improved so that you'll select the materials yourself when using this feature. So, this change should help prevent those accidental moments, like forgetting to use the Cronstone. Overall, this redesigned enhancement UI is aimed at reducing confusion and making the system more intuitive for new adventurers. We'll also continue to make improvements in a way that this is more convenient for our veteran adventurers to use.
Hey, I'm all for any quality of life that
Nice.
frees up our inventory.
More forgetting Cronstones.
Yeah. That is right.
Next, while this isn't related to UI, we also prepared some benefits to help our new adventurers. First, Tuala accessories, which are seasonal items, will no longer fail enhancement at Try and Below. The season server is designed as a mini version of Black Desert World for new adventurers to experience. But since it is also important for them to know that accessories can be destroyed when enhancing, so destruction will still occur. But for only enhancements at Try and Above, to make it less stressful when trying to gear up with Tuala accessories. And from now on, we plan to provide new adventurers with a settlement support fund about 10 billion silver. We've been analyzing data from last winter through this year and found that new adventurers typically graduate from season server in as little as 3 days, with the average of being around 9 days. We think this is a reasonable time frame, but most players graduate with about 400 million up to 1 billion silver on hand.
I think that'd be really nice for people getting started.
While we do offer various benefits, once you move to main server, you'll need to gear up and start enjoying all kinds of content which requires some starting funds. We considered providing items, but honestly, nothing beats silver. We believe giving silver instead would offer more flexibility and choice. For this reason, we will be providing all new adventurers who graduate with a 10 billion silver support fund. We hope this will aid you in shopping on the main server or use it in any ways that help you grow.
Really nice.
However, to prevent any potential exploits, the full amount won't be given all at once. Some will be provided through main quests and some through content. So please keep this in mind as you get started.
Come on.
That's like
Get
a
to the
good way
juicy
to
bits.
start off, get those necessary items from the central market.
Absolutely, and you can start getting like little like goals as well with all that kind of silver along the way. Look at the silver. What do you think about it?
Next, I would like to talk about another feature that many of you have requested. Now, even if you used up all your party Black Shrine attempts in Hwanghae, you'll still be able to help other adventurers. Previously, you could only retry bosses and difficulties you had already cleared, but now you'll be able to challenge any boss or difficulty as many times as you'd like. There have been adventurers who have expressed frustrations over wanting to help a new guild member but couldn't because they'd already used up their attempts. So we hope this update will be meaningful for those who want to help others. Please note, however, if you don't have any remaining attempts, you won't be able to receive rewards. We previously updated Ataraxion to allow adventurers to skip straight to the boss fight, but we are aware this also made it harder for some adventurers who used to help others progress through Ataraxion. We plan to address this by changing the way daggers are obtained. Daggers will drop from the bosses instead of being awarded as a quest reward. This change is scheduled to go
Hey, bring
live with the
back
update
the
on July
Shadow
10th.
Arena. Video Shadow
That
Arena. Bring
concludes
it
our
back.
updates for
God
new and
damn.
rookie adventurers.
Okay, so that is
Best
I
fucking
believe,
thing
like,
ever.
one
Bring
of
it
the
back.
chapters being close.
Oh, and we're going to be going over the kind of a roadmap for this updates, actually.
Okay, nice.
Yeah,
there
that
you
was
go.
talked
roadmap.
Nice.
Ooh.
See them all
Okay,
together.
so
Can't
you
read
can
it.
see like when these
So you can
things
see
happen.
for us, from July 10th, we'll get the Ataraxion boss change. July 17th for us, we'll get the world map UI changes, the Black Shrine retries. July 30th, the enhancement UI changes.
And
well,
well,
August,
one more thing
we'll
before
get-
we move on to the next chapter. Recently, we held a mentor and mentee
Not yet,
event.
not yet, not yet. We're still going over the world map. You're
Oh,
spoiling
okay.
us. So in August, you can see.
Okay.
And then, sorry, back
Yes,
to this.
yes. So, as I said, we had a mentor adapted and progressed 4 to 5 times faster than those who didn't. We found that the more support systems we provided to help new adventurers adapt, the better. So we're planning to expand these efforts in the long-term plan as well. Okay, it'll take some time to implement, but we're also working on revamping the Olvia area in a beginner-only zone. We're calling it Olvia School, a school for new adventurers with support from Calphian. That part of the Olvia will be rebuilt. Here, you'll be able to hone your skills by battling various monsters and try out cooking and alchemy with designated ingredients and shared tools, helping you learn the game's basic systems and in a practical way. We plan to operate Olvia School in classes, and even after graduating, adventurers can stay connected through alumni groups with ongoing support for forming lasting in-game communities. It will take some time until it's built, but since the scenery of Olvia will change significantly,
idea,
we
utilizing
encourage
Olvia,
those
'cause nobody
with
goes
fond
there.
memories of the area to visit there before the update goes live. And in short term, we'll be refining our early game systems as introduced today. And in the long run, we're preparing an entirely new beginning area. Our goal is to help new adventurers really experience what makes Black Desert fun right from the beginning.
That sounds like a big thing.
That's really nice. I think it's
And-
important for those people just
and
starting their
this-
journey.
That's chapter
I
1.
also missed Olvia.
This
What's chapter
chapter
2?
1, the journey begins. We're wrapping up. 11 years of Black Desert,
11
but there
years
can be
of video.
never enough quality of life improvements, I think.
Absolutely.
These updates aren't just helpful for new adventurers as they get started, they are full of changes that make the game more comfortable for everyone. We still have
신규 모험가분들이 적응하는데 도움이 될 뿐만 아니라 우리 전체 모험가님한테도
Okay.
편안해지는 내용들 많이 있지 않았나.
we still have plenty more to share today.
Yep.
Next up is chapter 2, which is going to focus on getting familiar with the world of Black Desert. So let's dive right in and see what's coming next.
Into the Wide World, Chapter 2. We're growing, chap. We're growing. Next updates for those still getting familiar with the game. Since a lot of these are quality of life updates, veteran adventurers may also find these updates useful. Once again, UI updates come first, which start with what so many adventurers have been anticipating.
How about an engine
the
overhaul?
all-in-one preset. This is not the first time I'm talking about the all-in-one preset, and I've always felt sorry for making you wait. But now I'm happy to say that it's almost ready to be released. With the all-in-one preset, you'll be able to view all your various settings on a single screen. What really makes this feature shine is that your preset will automatically apply when you enter specific content.
Oh, that's
Take the Arena of
nice.
Solari, for example.
Okay.
Am I going a bit too far ahead? Yeah, sorry, chat.
이 대표적으로 솔라레
There we
차의
go.
경우
Take the Arena of Solari, for
여러
example.
프리셋을
You
미리
can now
설정을 해두실 수
pre-select
있는데
your preferred preset in
사냥을
advance,
하다가 매치에
just like
들어서 이
what is
솔라레
shown right now.
입장하시면
If you're out
지정해두신
PvEing and
프리셋으로
get
전환이
matched up for the
되는데요.
Arena of Solari, your
이게
settings will
다시 원래
automatically
상태로
switch
돌아오게
to your
됩니다.
preset for the
이런
arena.
식으로 이 콘텐츠별로
And
프리셋을
they'll
미리
switch
설정해
back
놓을
to
수
the
있습니다.
default settings after the
그리고 이런
match.
방식이 되면은 이제 길드리그 같은
In this way, you'll be able to set
콘텐츠로
up presets for each type of content. It would be easier to join
근데
Guild League as well. However, while Carolyn's buff has become essential, it's causing issues in various content like the Guild League. We considered extending its duration, but honestly we feel it's better to remove unnecessary upkeep altogether to simplify things, both now and for the future. So, we're gradually phasing out Amity buffs, like Carolyn's and Aliston's. Now, you might be thinking, how are we going to deal with DR classes from now on? That's a fair concern, and we'll be addressing it shortly after. Going back to all-in-one preset. I am zooming, chat. I am zooming. I'm very sorry. At first, it was going really fast, and then I'm like, yeah.
So the idea is to kind of make everything a bit easier to upkeep
Yeah.
and simplify.
We're addressing it shortly after. Going back to the all-in-one preset, definitely didn't get here already, the auto-switching feature is currently being tested. So, and it is being planned to launch in August 28th update. We apologize for the extra wait, and we want to ensure it's fully polished and delivers the convenience it's meant to offer for all adventurers. Sorry, Chan, I was zooming. I thought I was actually behind. But, well, next up, Adventure Log Reward Integration. Adventure logs are play a crucial role in progression by boosting key stats like AP and DP. But with stat rewards spreading across multiple logs, trying to collect them all can feel overwhelming. With this update, completing just Igor Bartali's adventures will grant you all the stat rewards, including AP, DP, accuracy and evasion, max stamina, MP, and HP.
Let's go,
Igor's
Bartali.
got it all. Igor has got it all.
Becoming more famous now.
Now, you might wonder what the other adventure logs offer now. To address this, we're adding special rewards like colored titles to them, turning them into challenge or objective-based content. In short, they'll become optional rather than mandatory. For adventurers who've already completed these logs, the rewards will be distributed right after the update.
I'm sorry for you, Dave.
If you haven't yet, the choice is entirely yours.
Oh, thank God.
So for
Logs
new
are such a
adventurers
bitch.
are also immediately met with the mandatory quests, like those for the campsite or tier 5 pet, right after starting the game. But with more mandatory quests added over time, many new adventurers have found the early game overwhelming. We're working on improving this experience as well. That said, we'd like to ask for your understanding. For instance, even after simplifying Blackstones, we ended up introducing a new one later on. Sometimes when adding new content, new items are inevitably introduced. And so are quests. While we aim to minimize this, some additions are simply unavoidable as the game grows. That's why going forward, we want to put more focus on reorganizing existing content. So before we add something new, we'll make sure we'll make it a priority, to clean up, streamline, and polish what's already there to make the game more manageable and enjoyable for everyone.
I think that's really important, actually. Right?
Yeah.
So people not just feel overwhelmed, but like burdened by having so much stuff.
Yeah, and it's the thing, like, I think it was like last year or maybe the year before, we had like this whole part of like integration, like trying to consolidate a lot of stuff. But you know, new things come into the game, right, chat? So of course.
Why do they
Now
clap
let's
like
talk about the
this?
seed pouch.
This looks weird.
This is Klaus
Like 5 of
Oldblum
them
seed
doing
pouch. We've been working on making seeds stackable, but since that is taking longer than expecting, we are offering this temporary solution. This pouch is for storage only. You won't be able to plant directly from it. While I have been focusing on just one crop, many adventurers prefer growing a wider variety.
진짜 가방은 씨앗을 보관하는 용도로 하시게 될 겁니다. 저는 평소에 한 가지 작물만 계속 재배를 했었는데
Klau's Old Moon seed pouch comes with 50 slots, but we'll consider increasing that in the future if needed. We hope this pouch helps adventurers who had trouble with inventory space when storing different types of seeds.
Oh, that's a win for people
That's
who
actually
farm.
really nice. Nice quality of life. I like it a lot.
가방 칸이 부족하셨던 모험가분들이 보다 편리하게 사용했으면 합니다. 이 가방은 저희가
It is also easy to obtain. Once you reach farming skill 1, simply interact with Old Moon Manager to get it. Please note that only one pouch can be obtained per family.
획득할 수 있는 점은 참고 부탁드릴게요. 그리고
Okay.
Next up, using energy from your alt characters. Previously, energy-based content often required switching to the character with energy you needed. Just as we've enabled node investments via the world map using alt character's energy, we are planning to extend alt's energy usage to other contents as well.
Ooh, that is nice.
Recently, we improved the hiring system, so you can hire workers from other towns, and adding to that, you'll be able to use energy of your alt characters when hiring them.
Oh. Well, I still
If
have
these
to see it.
changes were made along with updates like contribution points, cost reduction for nodes, and new production nodes in Ulukita and Kaplan, it would be much convenient for many adventurers. We regret that this improvement is coming so late, but still, better late than never, and we are committed to make it happen. Additionally, you'll be soon able to use alt character's energy at the Patricios shop as well. We were working on that too. These are all for making adventurers' lives easier.
That's nice. It's really, really nice. Next up, the screen may be familiar for those enjoying life skill content. These are silver embroidered life clothes. These have been must-haves for life skillers for about 8 years, and beloved by many adventurers. However, after the Manos patch, their only real purpose has been the life EXP boost, and constantly swapping outfits for that has been a hassle.
Oh, what are they?
So, we've decided to let most silver embroidered life clothes go,
No!
except for the traders and farmers clothes that don't provide a mastery buff. All other silver embroidered life skill clothes will be removed, and their effects like life EXP boost, cooking time reduction, and processing success rate will be added to the Manos clothes. Those who already own silver embroidered life clothes will receive compensation based on their enhancement level.
Okay, I'm okay with this.
You'll get silver up to duo, and from try and above you'll receive a Jin, Bon, or 1 Dawn Crystal Life EXP based on the enhancement level.
Okay.
We're keeping the name of the Dawn Crystal because it uses the same slot unlocked by equipping the old Charizard accessory. This slot is now available when equipping Prion accessories. Crafting Jin Bon 1 Dawn Crystals, Life EXP would look like this. You can use pre-existing materials to craft them. It's pretty nice. While we're introducing life skill content, let me add one more thing. You know how processing works, right? It could be a bit frustrating when processing fails. So, we're looking to improve it. First, with this patch, we're planning to add the processing success rate effect from the silver embroidered craftsman clothes to the Manos craftsman's clothes. Also, if your gear isn't fully optimized yet, to reduce the number of processing failures, there'll be an increase in the base processing success rate. That's pretty nice. Okay. So, next up, let's look at the screen first, shall we?
Oh
Now,
god.
this is the current shortage of Pearl inventory slots. While number of outfits are growing, the shortage of Pearl inventory slots remain an ongoing issue. We are working on various solutions like a dressing room and so on. But since those will take more time, we are implementing the quickest improvement possible. So, we're introducing 2 new items. Patricio's extra large apparel bag and Merv's carry-on bag. Patricio's extra-large apparel bag, as the name suggests, is a storage dedicated to outfits. As you can see, it has 40 slots. So, compared to the existing Patricio's apparel bag, it offers much more space. Each family can have up to 5 of these, and they are obtainable through the loyalty shop. This adds a total of 200 extra Pearl inventory slots just for outfits, which means that the current shortage of Pearl inventory will be in a better state. Unlike next up is the Merv's carry-on bag, and unlike the apparel bag, this item specializes in quick swap rather than storage. When you open it, you'll see an equipment-style UI instead of a bag, allowing you to assign outfits for each slot. With a single click on swap, you can instantly change your entire outfit. While the original Patricio's apparel bag also had a swapping feature, it stored more outfits for all the different slots, leading to some issues depending on gear slots. Merv's carry-on bag addresses these problems and is designed specifically for easy outfit swapping. Merv's carry-on bag is also available for purchase up to 12 per year from the loyalty shop. With these storage items comes bittersweet news as well. The existing Patricio apparel bag will no longer be obtainable, and its outfit swapping feature will also be removed. It would be ideal to keep the item and its features, but due to the slot occupancy issues, this change is unavoidable, and we ask for your understanding. Sorry, Chan, but we've got some really good things instead of it, though, which is really nice. Okay, so adventurers who already own Patricio Apparel bag will receive Merv's carry-on bag equal to the number of their bags owned. And while you won't be able to get Patricio's apparel bag anymore, you'll still be able to use the ones you already own for the extra storage. Moving on, let's talk about a new feature coming to maids, who have been with us for the past 9 years. You'll soon be able to designate a main maid and fully customize their appearance. Previously, maids came with the preset looks, which may not have suited everyone's tastes. Now, you can create your own unique maid character. For example, you can set your maid as a shy dressed in a shy exclusive outfit and create your own cutie pie maid. Or go with a giant and have a big sturdy butler by your side, using a conversion stone available at the Pearl shop. Outfits can be converted into maid exclusive outfits. These outfits can be extracted like regular outfits, or reverted back using a conversion stone if needed. Nice. Once you set your main maid, they'll greet you every time. You'll use the maid function, replacing the default maid. We're also adding small interactive features. For example, when you board a wagon, your maid will take the driver's seat, while your character rides alongside and rests. We plan to expand these interactions further. Since this is your personal maid, you'll also be able to name them and even chat with them. And we're experimenting with AI features.
Oh, God.
Chat with them.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy. One important note here,
Give us an
we're
AI
intentionally
maid?
avoiding any gameplay advantages with the main maid. We don't want it to become a must-have or affect balance. This is purely meant to be a fun, customizable feature for you to enjoy your own personal companion.
You'll always have friends.
See what chat's saying.
Coming up next, let's set the improvements aside for a while and introduce some content. It is what we have mentioned before,
Actual content? Oh.
the blue battlefield. This is where guilds clash on waters with ships, which is going to be naval PvP content. This content was originally brought up at Heidel Ball 2021, but was at a halt for several issues. Letting it go wasn't easy for us, because this concept of naval fleet battle
Dude, I wouldn't
was
mind
one
the
of
water
the content
content
we
if you
wanted
could
to
actually
make
swim
happen the
correctly,
most
like,
in the
when
world of
dumpster
Black
fire
Desert.
games have a better
So
swimming
this
setup
year,
than-
with our everlasting
Fuck water
passion,
content till
we
you
came
fix
up
it.
with solutions for some critical issues and gave it one more try.
Oh.
We found out that occupation Node War rules fitted in surprisingly well and came out more enjoyable than expected. So we decided to make it go live. The blue battlefield will take place in two regions, the Balanus Sea and the Calfian Sea. We'll kick things off in the Balanus Sea first this summer. The rules are similar to Occupation Node War. Guilds can register up to 20 members for the battlefield. However, for your participation to affect fort count, over half of your registered members must actually participate. Depending on how many guilds join, forts will spawn across random islands in the Balanus Sea. Capturing a fort or destroy at least 10 enemy ships is the minimum condition for rewards. As with the Occupation Node War, at the end of the battlefield, the guild that is occupying the fort wins. Since the blue battle is a naval battlefield, the role of your characters is minimal, and instead fleet combat is the core of all tactics and strategies.
Nobody really
We're
likes
expecting
the fucking
intense
naval
cannon
battle
battles,
shit in BO
so in order to
because
create fights that are actually fun, we have added two
the
special
water doesn't
rules to
cooperate
keep
with
things
fighting.
interesting. First, all ship movements are halved. All ships participating in the blue battlefield will have their movements-related stats such as speed, accel, turn and brake reduced by 50%. It might feel a bit sluggish compared to normal sailing, but the current ship speed is too fast for naval combats. This change is meant to encourage more strategic and enjoyable sea battles. Second, you cannot repair ships during the battle. Maintaining your fleet is key in this content, and thus revive items like Tears of the Wind are also disabled. If your ship is destroyed, you will have to turn to wharf, repair, and set sail again. To prevent players from being stranded at sea, we'll provide a traveler's map with a short cooldown specifically designed for the blue battlefield.
That's nice. Sounds really interesting.
And obviously, even if your ship is destroyed during the blue battlefield, your sailors won't suffer any penalties, so charge into combat. Now let's talk about the roles and synergies of different ship types. Since the blue battlefield is a guild scale battle, how you manage your fleet is crucial. First, the guild galley serves as a flagship. In the blue battlefield, the ship becomes extremely durable, and compared to other ship types, it can deal much more damage against forts. So utilizing this flagship is the key to victory. However, you cannot make use of multiple galleys. Only one galley is allowed per guild. This is to reduce burden of constructing and improving multiple galleys for the content.
Okay. So, for Carracks are better at destroying enemy fleets, serving as your main combat units. Protecting the flagship, the guild galley, while destroying enemy fleets will be their main mission. I said that once the blue battlefield begins, all ships will have their movement stats reduced by 50%. Please note that this movement stat reduction may vary depending on the ship type. The Panoxons will act as tanks, breaking enemy formations. They'll receive buffs on their defense, and their smooth turn skill will go through a revamp. Instead of turning just 45 degrees, it can now spin 180 degrees in place, which allows quickly firing cannons from both sides. Panoxons can hold its position and stay strong for a long time, while disrupting enemies with fast fires, making them game changers in fleet battles. And finally, Etheria galleons are also eligible for battle, and this ship can become a wildcard. Etheria galleons are extremely tough, but their attacks are relatively weak. In order to make their balance suitable for the content, we plan to slightly lower its defense and boost its attack. Guilds with more galleons may have an advantage, but they'll also draw more attention from rivals. Now, after all these explanations on the blue battlefield, you may think, isn't this just another naval node war? And honestly, you're right. It will run 6 days a week except Saturday, following the same time schedule as the regular node war. In other words, you could think of it as a standalone naval node war. At first, we considered simply adding naval combat to the existing Node War, but for all the Carrack owners who've been waiting for naval combat content so patiently, and for those who've made ocean content their main focus, we wanted to offer something special, a dedicated experience just for you. That's why we've completely excluded character stats, and designed this content to be all about your ship. This isn't about splitting the current Node War player base. Instead, we're creating an entirely new pool of participants. So it's actually really, really nice. I think it's going to be really cool. Interesting to see what guilds get involved with this. And since ships are the center of this mode, it's naturally a bit more accessible and lighter compared to the original Node War. The rewards are also completely different, setting this content apart. Let's look at the rewards now then. Okay, we have designed helpful buffs for adventurers who enjoy seafaring, alongside guild funds and gold bars as well. Reward boxes will also include item to reroll the stats of sea crystals, and chests with yellow or red grade sea crystals, according to a set probability. To sum it up, the Blue Battlefield is a naval PvP mode that borrows the rules of the current Node War, focusing on ships. I would say this mode is for both seasoned and aspiring captains, and delivering a new, enjoyable experience has been our top priority when developing it. We'll put the greatest effort to make it enjoyable till the very last. Okay, that includes Chapter 2. Now let's take a look at when the update is coming on screen.
Okay,
There's somebody in the chat. Fix water before, please. Nobody ain't gonna do any of the water content till
모두 7월까지 마무리 예정입니다. 잘 준비해서 선보일 수 있도록 하겠습니다.
네, 챕터 2의 내용도 정말 꾹꾹 눌러서 담은 느낌이 있었는데 대표 메이드에 왜 하필이면 자이냐라는 그런 이야기도 재밌었던 것 같습니다. 참 여러 가지
Chapter 2 was absolutely loaded with dog shit.
모험일지 개편 같은 경우가
Like one part.
적응하기 힘들어하시는 분들에게는
stood
도움이
out
많이
to me.
되겠다라는 생각이 좀 듭니다.
As someone still getting used to
기본
things,
운영하는 내용, 그리고
I
시야가
really
의상과
appreciate it.
것처럼 편의성 개선도 굉장히 많았고요.
Plenty of quality of life upgrades were introduced, including energy storage, a seed bag, an outfit bag, plus a sneak peek at the Blue Battlefield. But I think it's time to go to Edonia, so let's see what's next in the next chapter together.
다음 챕터 가보시죠.
Okay. We're now on Chapter 3, Beyond the Desert Sands, chat. We are leveling up.
We're getting there. We're
We're
getting to
getting
Edonia.
there.
We're
I know
heading over
people
there.
are excited for other stuff. Don't worry, chat. We're on our way. Okay?
more
Now,
chapters.
this chapter is titled Beyond the Desert Sands. These are for those who settled in the world and gotten the hang of Black Desert. Our previous topics were a bit lighter, but since this chapter is just before heading to Edonia, we've included some advanced content. Since we have a lot to cover, let's dive right in. Okay, so first up is a new content called Alan Serbin's Landscape. In Black Desert, many adventurers spend a long time aiming to find specific treasures. That passion for reaching your goals is truly inspiring, but that challenge can feel overwhelming or even keep some from trying it at all. We've been thinking about it a lot because it's important to honor those who've reached these treasures after all those obstacles. So simply lowering the difficulty wasn't an option, but leaving things as they are didn't feel quite right either. So we're proposing a new way of treasure hunting, which is called Alan Serbin's Landscape. The landscape painting you see here is a magical frame that captures the scenery of treasure monster zones, like Historia Ruins or Ackman Temple. It's based on the Nader frame, found in Tarif. The idea is that by imbuing the frame with a spell, the energy of the specific location fuses with your character temporarily. While in this state, you gain a powerful effect. You can obtain treasure materials from the monster zone even while subjugating in a different location. For example, if you activate the landscape of Historia Ruins, even at monster zones other than history runes such as Golden Pig Cave or Darkseeker's Retreat. Compass materials obtainable from history runes will sometimes drop,
Well, that's
but
pretty cool.
you won't be able to use it in every monster zone. The landscape will only be available in zones with 300 plus AP requirement. I'm sorry, I was a bit ahead down. Let's see, there we are.
Kind of like a treasure item drop event on demand.
To activate a landscape, you'll need a scenery item obtainable from each treasure monster zone. For example, if you defeat monsters in History of Ruins, you can obtain Scenery of Histria. The landscape will react upon using the scenery item and activate a number of spell charges equal to item use. Defeating monsters will spell activated will consume spell charges. Think of it as working similarly to Agra's Fever.
Treasure fever.
Really want to know what the prize class.
Okay. I was ahead of it? Okay, no, I'm behind. This also means you can collect scenery items, characters of History of Ruins, and tagged characters on your desired monster zone. You can consume the scenery of Histria. However, it doesn't mean that using the scenery increases your drop rate or anything like that. It only enables the item to drop in other zones, and even then at a fixed lower rate than it would in the original monster zone. And just in case you're wondering, does this really work? Just like scroll written in ancient language, default guaranteed items are also included in the item drop table. This content's goal is completely tearing down the walls of treasure hunting, but rather giving you a bit more breathing room. We've designed it to stop adventurers from being stuck in one zone and let them breathe some different air from time to time. Also, you don't have to keep party zones running, because once you've obtained enough scenery items, you'll be able to go after the treasure items solo. We think this will be a nice advantage for many players. For now, each scenery item can only be obtained from the monster zones, but as we monitor the overall trend, we're planning to gradually add more resources for obtaining them. Our current focus is to make sure this content finds its place and make the treasure hunting experience a bit more flexible. Next up is an update many adventurers have been requesting for a long time. We're revamping the Alchemy Stone system, chat. It is happening. It is now. Alchemy Stones are a key progression goal for our top-tier adventurers, but we've received a lot of feedback that the system is too complicated. There were two main issues. First, the level and grade systems were too complex. Yeah? Second, the system itself was unfriendly and difficult to progress through. To fundamentally address these problems, we've prepared this revamp. Previously, Alchemy Stones had 8 levels from Imperfect to Shining, and each was split into 4 color grades, white, green, blue, and yellow. It was just too complicated, so moving forward, we're simplifying both the levels and grades. And as you can see, levels will now be reduced to 6. Imperfect, Sturdy, Sharp, Resplendent, Splendid, and Shining. Each level will now only have 1 grade, Yellow. Adventurers with Alchemy Stones of the removed grades will be compensated with silver based on the grade of the stone. The UI layout will be improved along with levels and grades. Unlike other equipment, Alchemy Stone has a 2-step progression system, gaining EXP through polishing and leveling up through growth. This led to going back and forth between the tabs, making progression a tedious task. With the update, recharging growth can be done on the same screen. And you can probably see something else there, chat. There's also some changes to the growth difficulty. First, the success rate will now be displayed. Also, using Cronstone when attempting growth on an Alchemy Stone will prevent it from being destroyed even if you fail. The Ancient Anvil system is also being added. You'll be guaranteed to level up your Alchemy Stone after a certain number of failures. However, for the highest level Shining Alchemy Stone, its rarity and prestige will result in the amount of Agris Essence required to use the Ancient Anvil being set to a very high number. Okay. The overall success rates for alchemy stones will also be slightly increased, but for the shining alchemy stone, to honor the effort of so many adventurers who've overcome
I am
countless
Unsuna.
failures to craft their shining alchemy stones, the difficulty will remain high.
Oh, here's a video.
Okay, next up, let's watch this video.
That was it? Okay.
많은 분들이 이번 연애
The way they.
Okay, very nice. Woo woo.
I think many adventurers have been
Many adventurers were speculating on this as the reveal of the new item, Sovereign Sub-Weapon. Many adventurers had a feeling it was coming, but everyone is asking, what kind of stats will it have? Shall we take a look at the effects first?
Let's take a look. Ooh.
Oh,
Look at that AP, chat. Look at the AP.
Oh my god.
You know
many adventurers got this right.
두베르와 쿠툼을 통합한 형태입니다. 군항 보조무기의 강화 단계는 기존의
the Sovereign Subweapon combines the power of both Nova and Kutum. Its enhancement levels are the same as those for main and awakening weapons, comprised of 10 levels, and the difficulty is also identical. There are 3 different crafting members for the Sovereign Subweapon. Since it has the effect of 2 weapons 1, it does require a bit more materials compared to main or awakening weapons.
Yeah.
First, you can use 2 Pen Black Star sub-weapons plus 1 Gem of Twilight. Second, you can use a Pen Black Star sub-weapon, 1 Pen Kutum sub-weapon at Capris level 20, and a Pen Nova sub-weapon at Capris level 20. Or third, a Pen Black Star sub-weapon, a 1 Gem of Twilight, and a new item called Gem of the Primordial. The Gem of the Primordial is a new item, and we'll get to how to obtain it. We'll get to know how to obtain it shortly. Also, just like main and awakening weapons, Sovereign sub-weapons gain additional visual effects at Pen and Opt. Please note that they cannot be registered on the central market. Next up, let's watch another clip.
Oh, it's Wansu from the past.
Yes, it's Wansu from last year's ball.
It's Wansu from the past, chat.
And he's talking about a Dine Ardu Doom thing.
Yeah. It's like combining the horses, right? He said that he
Off the
was going to
market?
try and do that
Yeah,
because chat wanted it.
And they,
Realize that?
and they're talking about how we did the sap. And
Yeah.
the joke is like Wansu's name in Korean is kind of similar to like Walyo. It's like kind of similar to complete. So they were joking like, oh, your name is complete, so you're going to complete this, right?
Nice.
That is right. I'm here with my words from last winter,
Oh, what?
hereby presenting Dine Ardunat Doom.
Video time.
Oh fuck, what happened? What? What the fuck? They're gonna combine all 3? Bruh. Gonna work with 2 seasons.
Yeesh. That's crazy. That was so seamless.
That was really good.
Okay.
Just like in the video, on flat land it charges forward in the form of Mythical Doom, glides as Mythical Ardunat while airborne, and walks on the water as Mythical Dine on the sea. And in desert it takes on the form of Dreamhorse Dine. Since Dine fits the desert best, we decided to add it in as well.
That's nice.
When I first brought this up, I wanted it to be meaningful for all trainers out there, but I didn't want to burden you with more cores or requirements. So after some thought, I realized that those who already built Sanctuary are, in a way, the ultimate trainers. That is why we are sending out this horse to everyone who has a sanctuary.
Oh.
This
nice.
isn't a one-time event reward either. From now on, anyone who builds a sanctuary will obtain one. So you can take out this horse with your main character and leave your sanctuary to alts as you see fit.
Ah, it's
Nice. It's
basically
like a
How do you do a
separate. It's a
sanctuary?
separate horse chat.
Basically, if you get a
I'm gonna have
sanctuary, you
to-
get one.
Yeah.
Get into that.
So you could just leave your other sanctuary to your
This
old.
spatial Dine Ardunat
nice.
Doom comes fully loaded. It starts at level 1 but already knows all 37 skills at 100%, excluding the 2-0 skill. And its base stats are set to highest values amongst mythical horses.
Oh wow.
For example, its speed matches Ardunat's highest and turn matches Doom's top stat. As the best horse in Black Desert, we made it sure it has the best possible stats to match.
Oh.
Okay, that's nice.
And actually, I haven't come up with its name yet. So it's called Dine Ardunat Doom for now. But if you recommend any good names, we may use them when we go
It's
live.
called
Yeah,
Dad.
chat.
It's the
Send us
dad
some.
version.
Send us some ideas, chat. Send us some dad horse. Stop it.
Oh, we
Yeah.
have another
And
video.
also,
Stop.
we have another clip.
Dad.
Oh, this is switching
Oh.
to attack character.
Yeah.
Yo.
I don't.
Okay, it's like instant transmission.
Yeah, this is actually something that is still experimental level. We are working on the feature lets you instantly switch the attack character without any loading time. Honestly, it's still too early to say for sure whether this will be possible or not, but if everything goes well, while there will be still a cooldown, you'll be able to instantly switch your attack character when travel separately is turned off.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That does make sense. Being able to instant transmission across the map.
That was looking great, by the way. Of course, this feature remains uncertain for now, but I wanted to share this with you because this motivates us to work even harder. So consider this as a little push for ourselves as well. We'll do
You have to
our
pretty
best to
much
make
play
this
one of
happen, just like
everything.
Dine Ardunat Doom.
Test out
And
their
that wraps
awakening
up the
and
details for Chapter
gives no
3.
choice.
Now let
You
me
have to
tell
figure
you
it
when
out.
you can expect this update.
Oh.
He also made another joke saying that with his name.
Oh, yeah. To complete.
Yeah, with his name complete. So Sovereign Sub-Weapons, August 6th.
August 6th. Okay.
Dine Ardunat Doom is August 13th. Landscape is August 27th. And
Yeah.
the Alchemy Stone renewal is set for September.
September. Okay.
챕터 3
Nice.
사막을 넘어서였는데 역시나 적응 단계를 넘어선
Okay,
분들이
chapter
많다
3,
보니까
Beyond
챕터
the
3가
Desert, I think
굉장히
sounds
좋았던 것
great.
같습니다. 뭐
Or Beyond
풍경도
the Desert
그렇고요.
sounds great.
디네
Yeah.
아르토나토 이거 지금 이름이 안 적혀져서
Alan
인물은
Servin's
완성인데
Landscape,
이름을 못 지었으니까요.
Alchemy Stone rework, Sovereign Sub-Weapons, Dine Ardunat Doom. That's a lot.
Nice.
I think we really do need a
Dine
better
Ardunat
name.
Doom.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
let's keep them coming.
The most popular name is in the chat now.
Yeah, apparently it's Dad.
Yes.
Dad is the name of the
Dad
horse.
is the name.
I think that's just how it's going to be from now on. Sad.
For me, like the
Dad
character
word.
tagging switch was actually crazy to see. It's
Yeah,
like,
it
instantly,
was.
yeah.
Yeah, super
Without
good.
any loading.
Yeah.
이제 재성인과
but
완순이
Now, I
드디어
think it's time for chapter 4, everyone.
Well,
It's finally time.
yeah.
It's finally time for Adania, everyone.
Maybe, but before that, I think we're going to go into 3.5. So yes, we are, but just before we move on to Adania, there's something important I'd like to talk about first. Those who remember the last Calcium Ball may be wondering, when is it happening? It's the patch we were promised for removing resistance from PvP and grouping the class synergies. That's what I want to talk about now. I know you've all been waiting, chat. I've been seeing the comments. The removal of PvP resistance is a change to a core system that has been part of Black Desert since its earliest days. That's why we needed to approach this with a great consideration. So as we were preparing this update, other issues and lingering regrets have also been in our minds. For example, the class summons and the long-standing issue with them. confusion and challenges in balancing from an outdated damage calculation formula, and on top of that, a diminishing sense of progression. These challenges that we needed to overcome kept coming into mind. We need to sort it all out at once, chat. And over the past 10 years, Black Desert has truly come a long way. But that time means some of our systems became outdated, while others accumulated problems upon problems. So with this opportunity, we wanted to not only address PvP resistance, but also clearly organize and improve the aforementioned issues. Looking back at each of them, it pretty much required a complete rebuild of Black Desert's entire combat structure.
Oh God.
Which is why it took so much time. Still, now that most of the work is finally wrapping up, on this very day, right before the launch of Adania, we're excited to share with our adventurers the changes we've prepared. There's quite a bit to say about this.
Yeah, as Jessup mentioned earlier,
either gonna make
over
or
the
break
past
the game.
10 years of Black Desert, our combat system has gradually become more complex.
It's a bit slow.
Alongside that, a number of issues have also accumulated. The changes we've made were done with the goal of streamline and unity in mind. There are 4 key areas we're focusing on with this overhaul. First, refining the damage calculation formula. Second, removing resistance from PvP. Third, grouping synergy multipliers. And fourth, improving the system to enhance a sense of equipment growth. First is refining the damage calculation formula. We started by clarifying the basic terminology, specifically for evasion or accuracy and evasion. They were often displayed as accuracy rate, evasion rate, causing confusion. Now, these will be unified as accuracy and evasion with a 1% to 4-point conversion rate. This change should prevent any further confusion with mixed terminology. Additionally, all accuracy effects attached to each class's skills will now be removed. Currently, each class receives different accuracy effects for each skill based on their unique characteristics. Because of this, balancing has been difficult. And there have been certainly cases where things felt unfair depending on the situation. So we plan to remove all accuracy rate attached to individual skills and instead add in accuracy plus 18 per skill to Infinite Mastery, a common passive skill for all characters.
Now this might be a bit confusing, so to give you an example, currently this is the Hashishin skill Inquisition. This skill has a stat that increases accuracy rate by 19% and a buff that increases all accuracy rate plus 6% for 10 seconds when using the skill. Such effects that come with the skill itself will be removed going forward, and accuracy will instead be added to a common passive skill, Infinite Mastery. Please do note that accuracy effects on class-specific passive skills will remain the same. This way, every class will be able to use more diverse combos without being limited by skills that increase accuracy rate. Next is about the damage reduction rate of super armor. Am I a bit fast? I am a bit fast. This time I'm a bit fast.
Really
sorry, Chip. Can't get it right. Can't get it right.
Most people don't really
PvP players may already know this, but other adventurers might find this unfamiliar. The damage reduction rate have been applied as a multiplicative stat so far, but since it applies differently from various buffs in the game, we are changing it to an additive calculation for unification and intuitiveness. For just changing the formula like this would diminish the efficiency of skills that increase damage reduction rate. So, we'll be adjusting the damage reduction rates of these skills, along with the formula. We are sharing this as there are changes being made, but we'll make sure that it doesn't feel any different from before. Next is on extra damage to species. We wish to clearly distinguish how it's applied in PvP and PvE. For example, extra damage to humans will no longer activate when you fight with another adventurer in PvP, and will only activate against humanoid monsters. Instead, the effect that applies to another character in PvP will be replaced with a new one called extra damage to characters. This will reduce confusion. by clearly distinguishing PvE and PvE. PvE and PvP. With this change, you might be worried about the items with extra damage to humans. This patch will also add the same amount of extra damage to characters to all items that already have the extra damage to humans effect. Existing items will be updated in this way, and going forward will make appropriate use of extra damage to characters in various ways. There'll be some changes to extra damage to species itself. First, the extra damage to species will no longer exceed the AP limit for monster zones. In other words, it will not go over the soft cap. We're preparing a comprehensive rework to ensure that the difficulty and efficiency of monster zones are balanced with these changes. There are also additional changes in store, so stay tuned for them too. Next, on to the summons. From now on, the damage calculation formula for summoned entities will be the same as for your character. The summons will now also benefit from your character's damage effects, as well as any damage increasing effects that occur in certain situations. On the other hand, extra damage to species will no longer ignore the target damage reduction, and stats will now be applied to summons in the same way as they are to characters, not monsters. As I gave an explanation about extra damage to species earlier, please keep in mind that summons will now be affected by extra damage to characters, not monsters.
Oh, fuck.
And something many adventurers have talked about. The fact that summons get stronger at night will be removed. Summons have always played a significant role in many skills in Black Desert. And it took longer than we anticipated with how much work was needed. I'm personally happy that we're finally able to tidy things up. We'll pay close attention until the end. Ensure these updates do not cause issues with balance. Okay.
Those are some fundamental changes.
Yeah. So, I'm now going to go over some of the PvP resistances.
Moving on to second key area, removing PvP resistances. Going forward, resistances quite literally will no longer apply in PvP. There are a few things to consider with this change. First, effects related to resistances is so-called 3 minutes buffs or in passive effects will be replaced with other effects that suits characteristics. However, they will still be applied in PvE, so any resistance increases attached to skill will remain. One of the biggest concerns we had when removing resistances from PvP was grapple. With grapple resistance gone, grapple skills will become significantly more powerful, and classes with ranged grapple skills could become disproportionately strong compared to those with melee grapple. We plan to address this making distinguishable ranged grapple animations, for example a wind-up animation when attempting a ranged grapple, and the speed and the style of these animations will play a key role in balancing. Melee grapples will also go through some adjustments. We'll put our best efforts into making this change, and it could be done in a different way in the future as we consider various other methods while we prepare this change.
Oh.
That's nice. The wind-up is nice. Like, that's definitely going to be more telegraphed, it seems. Okay.
Additionally, the grapple resistance is not used against monsters either, so the effect will be removed entirely. Items that currently increase or ignore grapple resistance will be converted to silver with the patch to be received by the adventurers.
Nice.
So,
I don't like
Okay,
that one.
Next up, grouping synergy multipliers. Screen, please.
I'm
this
having
I
the
think it's so it's kind of split into three different things.
Yeah.
So as you can see on the screen, synergy multipliers of classes will be applied in 3 different groups, depending on the characteristics of each class. If you look at Ranger, you'll notice that Succession and Awakening are placed in different groups. Succession Ranger uses a ranged weapon, and Awakening primarily uses melee skills. Like this, as classes have different playstyles between Succession and Awakening, making them more appropriate for different groups. We'll also carefully review each class to see if there are any areas that are lacking or need improvement until the patch goes live. So this is kind of a change on the class damage modifiers.
Right.
There's one more important thing. We have decided to block mouse movement
I hope they take
with this update as well.
Yes.
Know everybody.
Yeah.
Mouse movement has been a feature since the very beginning, and many adventurers have become accustomed to it, which is why we've kept it in the game. But over time, it began to affect the balance of the game as it started to become a deciding factor in an adventurer's skill level. So along with the aforementioned changes, we're taking this opportunity to fully disable mouse movement. We understand that adventurers who use this feature see mouse movement as part of the character's balance, and that they could take the removal of the feature as a nerf or debuff to their character. Please note that we'll all be also making the appropriate improvements in its place.
Yeah. So this may have been very sudden for some, because it's not something that was mentioned last year. But as Wansu explained, there were many problems with it, and some structural issues that needed to be fixed. Mouse movement forcibly changes a character's movement mid-animation, which directly leads to issues such as desynchronization, where the screen you see is not identical to the screen other players see. That's why we decided that blocking mouse movement will lead to a more enjoyable experience for everyone, as well as resolve the desync issue. We'll prepare this change thoroughly so we can provide better PvP and a more stable combat environment. I mean, yeah, I think people have all seen the videos. Now, for the last key area, improving the sense of growth. Going forward, if your AP is above 310, you'll gain +5 extra AP against monsters for every point of AP. Of course, these are still under tests for balance adjustments, so the numerical values may change. But up until now, while gear performance have always been important, once you reached a certain AP threshold, you likely noticed that the impact of further increases felt much less significant. This was intended to reduce the pressure of gear upgrades, but as time passed, we decided it's time for an improvement. For this, we're reworking the overall PvE system, including monster zones, to resolve this issue and create a better environment for everyone. Previously, monster zones had an unclear AP limit or soft cap, had inconsistent hunting efficiency, and some classes were even able to perform in higher level monster zones with lower AP. So, we first reassigned the AP requirement of all monster zones with care. Our goal is to clearly outline the required specs step by step, and to create a system where falling below the AP requirement significantly reduces your efficiency, while meeting the requirement provides clear rewards. We especially want you to really feel the result of increasing AP throughout this process. That's why, as a part of this Monster Zone overhaul, we've designed the AP limits or soft caps in a much more systemic way. If your AP goes above the requirement of a Monster Zone, your efficiency there will not increase sharply. Instead, as your AP increases, you'll get better loot and experience a clear sense of growth by moving to a higher level Monster Zone. So you have no reason to stay in the same zone. Since this patch means meeting the AP requirement is essential for efficient hunting, we will reduce situations where monsters deal unexpectedly powerful attacks that can instantly incapacitate adventurers, in other words, preventing getting one-shot. Next, let's talk about DP. At this time, we don't have any additional plans for DP bonuses. We are still thinking over this, however. Since Black Desert is a field-based game, we want to leave some room for adventurers to make up for lower DP with their own skills. Our philosophy is that while AP has to be met, DP is something that can be overcome with skill. But instead, DP will be a set minimum requirement for challenge-based objectives, not regular fields, so open world monster zones, guys. In other words, instance dungeon content, if you don't meet the minimum DP, you won't be able to enter these types of content. That way, DP will still be a meaningful stat for those who work towards it. And it allows us to design the content to not be overwhelmingly difficult.
Yeah,
Following
exactly
this,
said.
boss
No
blitz
DP
content
bonus, so
such
you
as
break your
Black
crystals.
Shrine or Ataraxian will have their AP and DP requirements adjusted. Like the monster zones, we plan to gradually ease the difficulty of content that felt too challenging. To summarize, moving forward, the efficiency of field monster zones will be designed around AP, while instant dungeon content like bosses will require adventurers to meet both AP and DP requirements. This will be our philosophy in redesigning all monster zones and content. It will be a lot of changes, but we'll try our best to ensure no part of this feels like a nerf. And this new approach is reflected in the upcoming new region, Edania. Now that wraps up the introduction to the relevant changes with so
That
many
particular change
updates.
probably
Oh,
ain't-
we're not going into that part yet.
Us?
Go ahead, chat. My bad. So as I was saying, this wraps up. And I know a lot of you might feel a bit confused, but at the same time, we hope there are people who see the positive side of bringing more structure and improvement.
And
No
again,
matter how
everything they
late
say
it
here
might
is still
feel.
until it's
We
released.
too
they
have our
could,
concerns
like,
about changing existing
get enough,
system.
they get enough
It's not
fire
the
under their
act
ass
of
about it. They
changing
might
itself
just
that
say,
worries us,
sorry,
but rather how
we have
these changes will
reconsidered
affect
how we're
our
changing.
adventures. You guys, how you might feel about it. Having love for this game, playing every day for years, and seeing it suddenly change could definitely make you feel a sense of loss or disappointment. Even so, we believe that the changes we've shared are essential for Black Desert to move forward and build a better future. We'll be putting all our efforts in, and we hope you'll continue to support us. There's a lot included in these updates, so we won't roll everything out at once. Starting from July, so from next week, the updates will be gradually introduced on the Black Desert Lab, where they will be tested and refined for about a month. We're aiming to end. We're aiming for the end of July for the live service updates, and we'll do our best for it.
We went a little ahead of him, but it's fine.
Yeah, it's
But it is a lot, and I think for
yeah,
a lot
it's
of
a lot.
adventures, it's a lot of big fundamental changes.
Yeah.
But it's kind of needed to make
Right.
future stuff better, basically.
Yeah, a lot of this is 100% needed.
원래 챕터가 총 4개였었는데
there was, like, I think
everyone
I think I can understand now why this was called chapter 3.5.
Yeah.
It was really important. How do you feel, chat?
I don't know, what do you think, chat?
I think like it's something that's
Thumbs up, thumbs
something.
down.
I think all these changes are kind of meant for the next 10 years of Black Desert. It felt especially meaningful and in depth, but I think it's finally time for the next chapter, Edania.
Yeah.
But before we move on, it was a lot to take in, so we're going to have a small break.
Small break.
Oh,
Small
thank
break
God.
to take it all in.
Water break.
Yeah.
All
Meanwhile,
breaks,
we'll
that
have a
means we're
clip
at
with the ball
halftime.
schedule,
Holy
so please
shit.
go grab some water, hydrate, and we'll come back through the announcements. So in 10 minutes, everyone, 10 minutes. The Edania trailer.
Yep. Prepare, chat. We're
See you
about
in
to
10
step
minutes.
in. See you very soon.
Okay,
And
so
we'll see you
they're taking a
very soon.
10-minute break. Good. Let's take that break with it. I'll be right back.
안녕하세요. 비트펠라하우스입니다.
검은 사막에 초대해주신 모험가 여러분들, 진짜 너무 감사합니다. 모험가 여러분들의 여정을 응원합니다.
네, 잠시 후부터 챕터 4, 네, 에다니아로 가는 길을 발표가 시작될 예정입니다. 그러니까 우리 모험가 여러분들께서는 착석해 주시면 잠시 후부터 본격적인 챕터 4에 대한 이야기를 나눠보도록 하겠습니다. 네, 다시 한번 안내 말씀드립니다. 잠시 후부터 챕터 4 발표가 이어질 예정이니까요. 우리 모험가 여러분들께서는 자리에 착석을 해주시면 감사 말씀드리겠습니다.
에다나여, 들리는가? 점점 더 고조되어가는 빛의 진원국이 숙명의 대결 앞에 어리석은 나를 마주하고 숭고한 신앙 앞에 의심하는 나를 마주하고 허망한 배신 앞에 광고라는 나를 마주하게 미지의 지식 앞에 확신하는 나를 마주하니 기억하거라. 짐은 이 모든 파멸의 끝에서 그대를 기다리겠노라.
Okay,
We're
welcome
back.
back from the break, chat. I hope everyone's excited with that little trailer.
And that looked like Adania in the video. So let's go right into chapter 4.
업데이트 발표 들어보도록 하겠습니다.
Okay. Here we go. Done.
Are we ready for chapter 4?
Yes. We're going to look at the new region,
이번에 신규 지역
Idania.
에다니아입니다. 새로운 도전이 좀 가득한
Since it's a
곳이라서
place
제목은
filled with
좀
new
이상하게
challenges,
자신을 넘어서
we've given it a
잡아봤습니다.
pretty grand title, Transcending
에다니아는
All Limits.
발렌시아 북쪽에 위치한 대륙입니다.
Idania is located north of
처음
Valencia.
다니실 때 그
You
시간을
might remember the
보내서
strait you cross to reach Hakoven Island. Idania is the continent that stretches
그동안
above these
어부상
cliffs.
스토리에서는 아르엘리라는 이름으로 간간히 언급되고
In the
있습니다.
story of Black Desert, this region is occasionally mentioned under the name Iliali. Back in 2020, when the Hashashin was first introduced, we caught our first glimpse of its silhouette in the trailer. The Hashashins who guarded the doors of Iliali appear as main NPCs in Adania. These heroes have battled monsters at the world's edge, waging a solitary war that goes unseen and unrecognized. As we shared last year, Adania is planned to be released in parts 1 and 2. You can see the full map of Adania on the screen. The upcoming part 1 will take place on the left side of the continent, and part 2 on the right. At the southwestern tip of Adania, you'll find Hakinja Sanctuary, your new base camp. This town offers services such as a blacksmith and a stable. To the right of the town are the castles of Idana. You can see Jordine's Etherian castle, Enslar's Orbiter castle, and Caphras Zephyros castle, which were teased during the last ball. Today, We're also introducing 2 castles for the first time. Rucalca's Nymphomare Castle and Kashin's Tenebram Castle. Yes, it's Jordine yet again, and Caphras well known thanks to Caphras stones and Altar of Blood. Enslar and Kashin probably sound familiar, so those who played Valkyrie and Sorceress, but I don't think many of you would have heard of Rucalca. Back on May 21st, we dropped a few hints about Rucalca through the Sea Crystal item and the special story quest. We've been gradually building up to reveal the story of the Merfolk, the race of Corsair's mother, and you'll discover even more intriguing stories connected to these characters in Edania. Part 1 of Edania features 5 castles and monster zones in this way. In terms of difficulty, the order is Jordine, Rucalca, Kashin, Enslar, then Caphras. For the final boss of Part 1, Caphras will be waiting for you. We're also preparing several castles for Part 2. To give just one spoiler, we're building a massive castle at the northern edge of Edania. The lord of this castle is the Black Dragon, Mark Thanon, whom you met in the Mountain of Eternal Winter. We hope you look forward to Edania Part 2, coming in the near future. As Edania marks the culmination of Black Desert's first 10 years, we have paid close attention to every detail. From the background to the stories of each character, we took extra care in selecting the bosses adventurers would encounter in Edania. Because we believe these moments when you encounter legendary beings you've only heard about during the story, or only met through their voices are important. So that when you finally stand before the ultimate boss of this world, it will feel truly meaningful and convincing. Through this journey of overcoming her, the story will naturally lead into the next 10 years of Black Desert. With this in mind, the characters we introduced earlier, Enslar, the apostle of the Elonian Church, the world's largest religion, Kashin, connected to the true nature of the Black Spirit, your adventuring partner, Jordine and Caphras, both closely tied to the power of darkness, and Rucalca, the queen of the mermaids, Corsair's bloodline, whose story has remained untold until now, have been chosen as bosses of Edania Part 1. As you confront these bosses, you'll gain a clear understanding of the key lore elements scattered throughout the story so far, and know exactly who you must face in Part 2 of Edania, the finale of Black Desert's first act, and why you must defeat her. I'm sure many of you are also curious about the story in Edania. I can imagine some of the questions you might have, like, so, is this finally the end? Are we really going to take down Alezra this time? But this time, Edania will be truly different. We've carefully prepared a story that will make you say it was worth the wait, and the loose ends that need to be tied up with the fully resolved in Part 1. And Part 2 will leave you excited for the next chapter of the adventure. We've also put a lot of effort in the main questline. With plenty of cutscenes and cinematic moments, we hope you enjoy the story as you look back on your journey so far. For Edania's main questline, you'll need to have completed the final Gladios quest to proceed. Previously, you could only start the next quest with the character who completed the previous one, which was inconvenient for many of you. This time, as long as you've completed the final Gladios, you can start Edania main quest with any character in your family, so you can enjoy the story with the class you want. That wraps up the overview of what's to come. Now, Wansu will take over and share the details with you.
Let me introduce the monster zones, bosses, and loot you'll find in Edania. First, the monster zones in Edania are similar to existing ones, but with some differences. Monsters are loyal to each castle, or will be played around the castle. You'll battle these monsters as you would in the other monster zones, and battle against the lords, as known as the bosses, will take place within their castle. The castle with the lowest difficulty is Jordine's Atarian Castle, which requires 350 AP and 427 DP. Since it's a monster zone at the beginning of Edania, we didn't want to set requirements too high. At first glance, the AP and DP requirements for the first region might seem a bit high, But since we are preparing many new updates alongside Edania,
Okay,
we
I'm
expect
back. I was
adventurers
trying to
will
get back
be
as fast
able
as I
to
could.
enter Monster Zones sooner than you might think. As mentioned earlier, the first Monster Zone and the boss fight against Jordan will have the requirements that most adventurers can meet,
So
but
let
the
me
bosses
check
that follow will have significantly higher AP and DP requirements.
so
The
they
AP
just did a lot of
requirements
talking.
for later castles go from 360, 365, 370 and up to 380, and DP requirements will also rise steadily up to 460. You might think the DP requirements are a bit too high, but I will explain this further later, when I introduce a new item. As mentioned earlier, the difficulties of these monster zones are designed with incremental levels. They are divided to provide a clear sense of progress, and this design will continue naturally. Not only into Part 1, but Part 2 as well. Each monster zone and boss will feature a new mechanic and variety of combat, which I'm sure many of you are eager to learn more about. So today we prepared a video showcasing a battle with the new boss. Let's watch the video before I explain.
Not a maven.
Okay, nice.
That was really good.
Yeah.
I need more DP definitely. There will be a total of 5 bosses in Edania, and you'll be only able to take one boss per week. To make up for this, we made it so that the higher the difficulty, better the loot you'll receive. Since this is weekly content and we don't want to make it overly challenging, and because this is another major boss update following Ataraxion and Black Shrine, we didn't want to overwhelm adventurers. So just one boss a week is all you need to focus on.
I know like a lot of people are worried about APTP.
Now let's move on to loot that you can earn in Edania. First, new artifact and lightstone items will be added. These aren't entirely new items though. With the new loot you gather defeating monsters in Edania, you'll be able to reform your existing artifacts, like Deki artifacts, to craft entirely new ones. You can also create new lightstones by combining existing ones with the new materials. Let me show you an example of a new artifact and lightstone. Let's take a look at the screen.
Okay. So, this is Dekia's Visionary Artifact. Compared to the regular Dekia's Artifact, this one gives an additional all AP plus 6. Here, we have the Amplified Lightstone of Fire, Fallen. It grants additional extra damage to species plus 2. Then, the regular Lightstone of the Fire Fallen. Also, if the Lightstones are the same type, like Lightstone of Fire, Fallen, and Amplified Lightstone of Fire, Fallen, they're still combined according to usual rules, and provide the same combination effects as before. In Edania, we're also introducing a new monster type, Edanian monsters. As the name suggests, the monsters you'll encounter here will be classified as Edanian monsters, and we're adding new extra damage to Edanian monster stat. New crystals items will also have this new stat. Earlier, we mentioned the extra damage to species will no longer contribute to breaking through the max AP limit. That said, the AP requirements now playing a much bigger role in entering high-tier monster zones. If this extra damage to Edania monsters will be crucial to stat for adventurers. We're adding new crystal items for Edania. From low-tier monster zones, you can obtain the Crystal of Dusky Oblivion, and from high-tier monster zones, the Crystal of Dusky Ruin. Both come with extra damage to Edanian monsters, to be sure to make the most of them and take on higher-tier monster zones. We're also introducing a new life crystal, the Crystal of Breathing Verdure. Think of this as upgraded versions that combine the effects of both the life skill crystal of vital life crystal and the vital crystal. It provides both life EXP and life skill mastery buffs. So, you no longer have to switch between crystals for different setups. These can be crafted using materials gathered from new life skill resources in Edania. And please note, we're also working on making it possible to upgrade existing Dawn crystals. Now let's talk about alchemy. With the introduction of extra damage to Edania monsters, new elixirs drafts and 2 new perfume recipes will be added. Okay, I've got it. As you can see on the screen, new elixirs will be available. Also, with PvP-related perfumes like the Perfume of Courage and Perfume of Deep Sea in high demand lately, we're planning to add new, high-quality perfume recipes in Edania as well. The new perfumes can be crafted with materials from Edania, and you can also use existing perfumes as ingredients. For those who've been crafting the existing perfumes, you've probably continued making them in older regions even after new areas were added. Now, existing perfumes can be used as ingredients for the new ones, and the new perfumes can also be crafted in Edania. Hopefully, this gives you more flexibility and crafting options. There are also 2 more things we'd like to introduce: Primordial Fragment and Gem of the Primordial. These are essential materials for crafting the Sovereign sub-weapon. As we mentioned earlier, you'll be able to use existing items to craft the Sovereign sub-weapon in a variety of ways. Adventurers aiming for the fast advancements towards high-tier zones in Edania can utilize pre-existing materials, while adventurers who want to steady progress from the start of Edania can use these materials and aim for Sovereign sub-weapons. Please do note that crafting the sub-weapon with the Gem of Primordial will take longer than other routes mentioned. 1,000 Primordial fragments are required to craft the Gem of Primordial, which will be used to craft the Sovereign sub-weapon. Fragments will be obtainable through multiple sources, including weekly bosses, monster zones, main quests, and weekly quests. For instance, when you finish the main quest line, you are guaranteed to obtain 100 primordial fragments per family. Okay.
If you guys think anything is confusing, we'll have the recap on the website and our SNS as well. Please make sure to check it out.
We have a video
next up, we have the main spoils from Edania, but first, a video. What you just saw. Wait for it. There's clappies first. The clappies. I need to pause. What you just saw is the new primordial grade defense gear, Edana's defense gear.
Let's go.
As the next tier after Slumbering Origin defense gear, the new Edana's defense gear, especially the gloves and shoes, features a unique design that combines both damage reduction and evasion, much like how the Sovereign sub-weapon was designed as a blend of Nuva and Kuta. Right now, Slumbering Origin defense gears faces challenges. Similar to what the new Debrecker accessories, enhancing Tet to Pen was set to be extremely difficult, and with no alternate methods, pushing your DP higher was a major struggle. With Edana's defense gear, we want to take a similar approach to last year's Sovereign weapons and Charizard accessories, but since we also revealed the Sovereign sub-weapon today, releasing all 4 defense gear pieces at once might be overwhelming. So, for Edana's defense gear, We've simplified the crafting process, but limited how often you can obtain the required enhancement materials. This helps prevent players from skipping multiple enhancement levels simply by having enough resources. If that sounds familiar, it's because I've said something similar when we first introduced sovereign weapons. This time, I'm not going to repeat the same mistake. To craft Idana's defense gear, you combine your existing Tet Slumbering Origin defense gear with one fragment of Idana. You can get a fragment of Idana immediately after defeating a boss in Idania. So, if you already have Tet Slumbering Origin defense gear, you can start crafting it immediately. However, enhancing to Idana's defense gear requires a special material called Idana's Black Stone, which is crafted using fragment of Idana. Since you can only defeat one boss and earn one fragment of Idana per week, enhancing your gear to Idana's defense gear will take a very long time. If you already have Tet Slumbering Origin defense gear, you can craft and enhance each piece gradually. If you're still working towards it, you can gather fragments of Idana by defeating Idania's bosses ahead of time and plan accordingly. Currently, a few players managed to overcome the challenge of obtained Pen Slumbering Origin defense gear. As of June 23rd, across all regions, 77 adventurers own at least one Pen Slumbering Origin defense gear, with a total of 99 pieces. Since these players have conquered such a difficult feat, they'll be recognized accordingly. Okay. Anyone who already owns Pen Slumbering Origin defense gear can immediately convert it to Oct Idana's defense gear. As I mentioned earlier, because upgrading Idana's defense gear all the way to Oct will take a significant amount of time, you'll be ahead of other adventurers in the world for that time. As for the enhancement difficulty, the success rate from Tet to Pen is 14.87% with 240 stacks, and from Sept to Oct, it's 4.99% with 310 stacks. The Ancient Anvil system will also be applied, which we set to 30 Agris Essence for Oct. Please keep in mind, we've set a lower difficulty and the Ancient Anvil attempts compared to Sovereign Weapons in consideration of limitations in material acquisition. There's something else to share about the design of Idana's defense gear. As the best defense gear that will exist in the game, it features an unparalleled design worthy of its name. Since the equipment is based on the world of Idania, it carries a dark and intense aura, with a design that radiates primordial power. We've also prepared exclusive visual effects that will be unlocked at Pen and Oct. We plan to continue this approach in future designs, enhancing adventurers' immersion for the unique gears obtained in-game. On the other hand, we plan to keep designing outfits with a variety of concepts. Not that we're going to only focus on modern outfits, we simply will continue trying out designs even if it strays a bit from Black Desert's lore, as long as you enjoy them. So please, continue to support us. And there are some of you that's been eager to get some cool gears in-game, right? So if you collect all 4 of Idana's defense gear, we'll give you an outfit set identical to the gear. You can use it on your main or give it to an alt. And this is for you to enjoy its design by itself. That's pretty awesome. I got a little sidetracked, but let's get back to the main topic. This time, I'd like to talk more about the stats. As we mentioned earlier, damage reduction and evasion are combined in Idana's gloves and shoes, and likewise for Nuva and Kutum stats of sovereign weapons, sub-weapons. This increases the overall stats, especially damage reduction and evasion. So more offensive power is needed for the balance. There are 2 major changes. First, AP of sovereign main and awakening weapons will be increased. They will gain an extra AP +1 at Pen, Hex, and Sept, for a total of +3 AP. Additionally, reforming your sovereign weapon will grant another plus 3 AP. That's a total of 6 AP. With these changes, a reformed sovereign weapon will go from 146 AP to 152 AP. There's something extra you need to do. If you already own it, it will be applied immediately without the patch. But there's something about that's odd, right? You can't upgrade sovereign main weapons at the moment. So with this patch, we're adding sovereign main weapon reform as well. Reformed sovereign main weapon will receive the AP plus 3 bonus. And to help balance the increased evasion, they'll gain an additional plus 50 accuracy. Oh, and please note that the main weapon upgrade for the sovereign weapon only. But for the upgrade, you need a Garma's Heart, which isn't easy to get. So, with this patch, on July 9th, we'll give every adventurer one Garma's Heart, more precisely an inverted heart of Garma that cannot be traded, as I mentioned earlier.
You really happy faces there.
Sorry, as I mentioned earlier, the original plan was to introduce the AP increase per enhancement level for Sovereign Weapon, and the main weapon upgrade alongside Edania, but we will be giving it out early with the update of July 9th. So, you can enjoy the boosted AP right after the ball. That said, the plus 50 accuracy might feel a bit too significant at the moment, so we hope for your understanding and patience on that part. If you already have 2 Garmoth Hearts, you can use it on your main weapon right away. If you don't have any yet, you can start working towards whichever one you prefer first. That concludes my explanation. The stats for Edana's defense gear have been set with both PvE and PvP in mind, as well as the future direction of the game. We'll stay focused until the end to avoid any major issue and ensure everything is smoothly integrated into the world over time without causing chaos.
I feel like they're gonna
chat,
backtrack.
We're getting our extra stats
real hard
ready for Edania.
Like 6 months after
you were worried, but let's go.
People trying to collect 1,000.
Finally, I would like to introduce a new PvP content, the highlight of the Edania update.
I'm at 700.
It was briefly mentioned last year, and it's Edana's throne. As explained before, each castle in Edania is ruled by its own lord, who serves as the boss. Adventurer who challenge and conquer the castle first can become the new lord and rule its dominion as an Edana. By becoming an Edana, you will sit on the throne with immense power. Those attending the ball in person probably saw a throne on this very stage under a spotlight before the update reveal began. That is actually one of the Edana's thrones you will see inside Kafros Zephyros castle. Being an Edana means being the absolute ruler. The path to throne isn't easy, and even after becoming an Edana, you must defend your lordship from challengers.
What?
To become Edana, you must first defeat the boss. By doing so, you'll be deemed worthy and gain the right to join Battle of Edanas, held at set time each week. However, not everyone can participate. Only 10 selected adventurers will be battling. For example, if there are 100 worthy adventurers, the 7 of the highest combined AP and DP are selected, and 3 adventurers are chosen at random from the remaining 93. The 10 chosen adventurers will gather at a designated day and time and place to fight. There are no rules, and the only last standing adventurer becomes the Edana. This battle takes place in an instance area, and it's not broadcasted anywhere. The Edana will have a week to enjoy their lordship, and a new adventurer will be chosen through the same process after a week. The chosen adventurer becomes the challenger and will duel the defending Edana, and with the victor becoming the new Edana. Edanas must accept this challenge every week, and if they are absent or lose the duel, they will lose their lordship. There isn't a separate Edana for each server. Across all servers, one adventurer with 5 master zones is designated as Edana. Edanas gain an immense amount of power. First, you will receive an exclusive crown, uniquely designed to match the theme of each castle. Wearing this crown allows you to use world chat and server chat without consuming a megaphone or energy. A crown icon will be displayed next to your character's name and your family name in chat. Then, the taxes. Each monster zone in Edania comes with Marnie's realm. Unlike before, you must purchase a pass to access this realm. A portion of this revenue from this will go directly to Edana. Also, Edanas do not have cooldown when switching servers near their castle or any death penalties. This also applies the same way even if you attack other adventurers first. You will truly be an absolute ruler. Edanas could die, try to kill someone, and get killed instead. Still, nothing is going to happen because of no death penalty benefits. Just keep in mind, this benefit only applies near the castle they rule. Lastly, Edanas can bestow a blessing. When an Edana blesses, all adventurers subjugating near their castle gains the item drop rate plus 100% buff for 2 hours.
Ooh, okay.
The blessings take this buff up to 400% instead of 300, making it very valuable. But it can be used 10 times over the 1 week of your rule.
Oh, you're actually like
The Lord.
Lord, you micromanage
Lord,
the
Demon Lord.
That is it on the powers of Edana. To give an example to you, really feel its strength, as an Edana, you could server hop freely and go around disciplining adventurers while using Master Zone instead of paying taxes. Or, if a guildmate or friend wants to PvE outside of the Marnie realm, but all spots are taken, you could grant them access by clearing a spot yourself.
Oh boy.
Asking, please, I can grind here.
Please.
Every aspect of the Monster Zone is controlled by Edana. Now, I know this might cast Edanas in a bad light, but I also think it's important for them to use this blessing wisely and keep things balanced.
Okay. This Adana's throne is a whole new kind of PvP content. We are trying, unlike previous content that focused around guilds, this system is built around individuals, becoming the sole ruler of a region. Naturally, only a limited number of people will be able to enjoy it right away. But since that one person's influence spans across all servers, we hope this content becomes more than just a competition. We want it to feel like a true RPG experience, where adventurers interact and influence each other. We'll do our best to make sure everything is thoroughly prepared and polished. That concludes our introduction to Edania. What do you think about it, chat? What do we think? Since the first new region in a while based on Black Desert's lore, after Land of the Morning Light, I hope many of you are excited for what's to come. I'm sure the release date is what you're most curious about. Edania will be updated on August 6th for all regions except for console and Chinese server. Throughout July, we'll roll out major patches including balance adjustments and a full rework of monster zones. Once those are completed, we'll make sure everything continues smoothly in Edania update in August. We're putting it our utmost effort. So please, continue to support us. Thank you.
That's
Global chat.
that's a lot. I think we could.
Nice.
Here's a round of applause for our two presenters.
They're tanking.
Yeah, we've had
It's like
a
2/3
lot of
good, 1/3
announcements
bad.
today.
Yeah.
1/3 bad really started happening. Once they started
last part
talking about the
about
naval battle
Edania.
shit, it
Yeah.
kind of went downhill.
Like, I think right now our MC is talking about how he used to imagine beating up bad guys
Oh yeah?
at a place like a demon castle as a kid, being a hero. And for him, those kind of nostalgic memories made this Edania update all the more exciting for him. And he hopes that turns out great. And the MC is asking if he can always be invited back every year, not just this year, but every year, as he really enjoys seeing our adventurers' excited faces. But this isn't the end. There's still something we mentioned at the start that we have to come back to. I think it's finally time for the new class.
Oh, new class.
Everyone? Everyone. Meet the 30th class of Black Desert, Wukong.
Okay, Wukong is
go.
guaranteed.
I think a lot of people kind of know already, but it is Wukong, the male class.
Yeah, I think people guessed.
So a lot of, I think our host is mentioning how he's always loved Journey to the West and Dragon Ball. And Wukong related contents have been really popular lately. But still, he thinks many were surprised to hear that the Monkey King is coming to Black Desert. So how did Wukong end up in the world of Black Desert? That's the question.
The new class, Wukong, began development in August 2020 under the concept of Ashura, inspired by Ashura and Rakshasa. And then in April 26, 2022, it was released as Xingsei on the Chinese server of Black Desert Mobile, even before BDO. And now today, we're excited to present the new class with its official name, Wukong, to all you watching.
Right, Xingsei. You've probably seen him on the Chinese mobile server already, but his look has changed a bit, and he has a new haircut. I think he definitely looks a bit more handsome than before.
Since the class was revealed earlier, some of you might not find it as fresh as expected. While Wukong shares some similarity to Xingsei on Black Desert Mobile, we've made extensive adjustments to optimize the experience for PC players. We'll dive into the details soon and showcase his skills in the combat trailer.
So excited.
Yeah, I've been a Wukong main since the dawn of time. Since the dawn of time.
Our host is actually hosting at that. Wukong, isn't Wukong a monkey in the Journey of the West? So some people thought Wukong would also be in the shape of a monkey. Yeah. But it turns out he's just a human. And after all the introduction of Edania, the connection to it seems a bit kind of weak. So we're very curious about Wukong's background.
Well, we'll get to Edania in just a moment. But Wukong is set as a descendant of the son Wukong from Journey to the West. So Wukong in Black Desert is 100% human, but has an extraordinary energy hidden within him. And just like his ancestor, Wukong is fated to meet a special woman. We all know Lan. The details of their ties and what story unfolds from their encounter will be revealed through the story quests after Wukong's release. I hope you all look forward to it.
So I think we can all look forward to a story with Lan. But without further ado, let's look at the combat, which is I think what most adventurers are looking forward to.
Yes. Yeah. Show us his moves.
Show us his moves.
Let's go.
Let's go.
As long as it's stylish, we'll love
combat
it.
trailer. Here we go.
Fights like a tamer. Fuck. Bootleg tamer. Stronger tamer. That's literally what it is. Yep, does the leap. What? Goku. Male tamer with Nimbus, yeah. What? Aura farmer. That looks real.
Damn! Did you see that 200% taking his hair out for the clones?
There's something
that
like
so
that
good.
was a lot. Like he was so like intense, but in the video, we got a general sense of how the class plays, but he used a different weapon than a power pole.
이번 이
But what was it?
As Wukong's descendant, the new class does use the power pole as his main weapon. He also has an awakening weapon called Jade Pillar. Unlike his extendable pole, the Jade Pillar is all about growing larger. Attacks with the pillar are also much more destructive. Since the two weapons transition smoothly, Wukong is designed as a flexible ascension class that naturally alternates between both weapons.
확실히 이제 굉장히 빠른 캐릭터구나라는 좀 생각이 들었는데.
And the class looks really fast. So, but what are his key features?
The basic combat style with the power pole is all about fast, concise combos. Rather than explaining, let me show you directly.
The grab.
Wow, so fast. As you just saw, while the attack range isn't huge, Wukong excels at chaining quick attacks into long combos. He can also use Dao energy stored in his gourd bottle to tap into power of his ancestors. This unleashes the Fighting Buddha state. When the gourd bottle is full, you can activate Fighting Buddha and fight in this state. And the Fighting Buddha, Wukong achieves enlightenment and can fully unleash the power poles through strength. Again, it's better to show than tell. So let's watch a skill combo video of the Fighting Buddha.
Oh, it's extending the pole. Damn.
What do you think? As you saw, once you enter Fighting Buddha state, your power pole starts to stretch, increasing your attack range and letting you land big, satisfying attacks. And if you paid close attention, when you land hits with your extended power pole, your next skill will instantly close the distance to the target. So as long as you keep hitting, you'll naturally move towards enemies, instead of standing still, allowing for continuous combat. Also, while in the Buddha state, shadows appear to help you in battle. They are not quite like Maegu's illusory doubles, but more like Striker's Echo Spirit in nature, as they assist you in combat. The Fighting Buddha state isn't one of ultimate. You can maintain it as long as you like. You just need to keep absorbing Dao energy from enemies with your gourd bottle now and then. While the attack range increases and shadow appears in this state, your combo speed will decrease compared to basic combat mode. And since some people might have missed it, here's a separate video of Wukong atop at Flying Nimbus.
I believe.
Let's take a look.
So it'll play like how I play my Tamer, where I'm always in Awakening. I never touch this.
This is really cool.
I'll do the Nimbus
That
thing
explains the
busted.
video chasing Lan.
Oh, he's chilling. What a vibe.
I think like the Nimbus really speaks to like Wukong's unique style. Looks really cool.
Yeah, to sum things up, as you've seen, the new Wukong class features a fast-paced, combo-heavy combat style. The signature Fighting Buddha state lets you pull off some exhilarating moves. And with the Flying Nimbus, you'll have the mobility you need when you need it. That said, what players call poke mobility is a bit of weak point. Short dashes aren't its strong suit. However, Wukong does have a grab skill, so in PvP, you can keep your distance. Wait for your opponent to make a move, then punish them with a solid counter. That's another way to approach combat with this class.
I think we can thank them all for that explanation. Well, we can't say it's totally new and fresh, but it's definitely a class we can look forward to.
Absolutely, we have worked hard on this, so I hope everyone is excited.
I think all this sounds great, but when is it releasing?
Ojin, I think you know how we do things here. Maybe you should make the announcement.
All right. Everyone, the new Wukong class launches next week.
Okay.
It's coming July 2nd. We hope you're as excited as we are.
I'm gonna play on July
Let's go.
2nd.
Time for
Kick my ass.
네, 그리고 저희 오늘
We
거물상황
back.
연구소 점검이 끝나면 또 바로 체험해 볼 수 있으시니까요.
Also,
여러분도 좀 재밌게
after the
There's just gonna
ball,
be a
you
bunch
can
of us
try out the
in-
new Wukong class
running
on
around
the
on this
Black
thing.
Desert Global Lab starting today. Hope you enjoy checking out in advance, as the console release schedule for Wukong will be announced separately.
And before we move on to the next topic,
Ah,
I think Jessica has something
Before
to say.
that, just a moment. We've mentioned Didani moments ago, right? And so,
It's a
well,
good thing I actually have a free spot.
What could it be?
I don't. I
we'd
just need
like
pick
to
it.
share.
I think they're giving us a free.
네.
What could it be?
We'd like to share something,
Something's
maybe,
coming.
possibly, who knows? One of our upcoming concepts with you today. Let's show it right now.
What could this be?
I wonder what that is, chat.
What is that?
양손 대검을 들고 있는 뭔가 성스럽기도 하고 너무 아름다운
No way.
역해요.
아, 네, 맞습니다. 지금 보시는
Wait, a female warrior?
저희 내부
Hey?
개발명
Claymore?
세이비어고요.
Is internally named Savior.
Savior. It's a
As you
paladin.
can see, she is a female knight who wields a two-handed greatsword. Some of you
Yeah, but it's
might
pretty
already
much
have guessed
looks
her
like a
vibe
paladin.
from her character design and the dev name. We're creating a character for all those adventurers who dreamed of a female two-handed greatsword class, while Dracania portrays a dragoon wielding a Zweihander. Savior's weapon resembles a claymore, and as you can see from his size, should be closer to a female version of Awakening Warrior.
Yes.
I've also been maining this class since the dawn
It's
of
a
time.
great
Yeah.
sword class, everyone.
Yeah.
한번 해보도록 하겠습니다.
That's my tag.
Tagging and switching
Monkey and
between.
Savior, that's it. Today we focused on introducing the Adania content, but the new class we revealed, Wukong, doesn't really tie in with Adania. We know a lot of adventurers were hoping for a new class that fits with Adania. Savior is the class that fits Adania both narratively and in design. We'll do our best to present the best version of this class.
But if they're going
I
to
think
bring
now
a
the question
holy type
is-
class, they have to bring
she
a
comes
dark
out.
one.
Is she coming out?
The
Well,
necromancer has to be
Nox,
after.
Yeah.
we have not yet finalized her release date, but we're planning to sync her release with Adania Part
Let's go.
2. Please look forward to it.
Can't wait.
As I-
I think we can all say that sounds great. And I don't think we were waiting for such a new class, like another new class, actually.
Yeah, many of them thought it's an
And
outfit.
today we've made this journey with our adventures from the ancient stone chamber all the way to Adania, and we also took a look at the new classes. But usually we move on to talk about summer events and outfits, right?
근데
So, but before we get, there's one more announcement apparently.
I realize they're just gonna throw that mic out when
So what could
done
it be?
because this guy's got the mic like
네,
Ow.
제가 지난
Okay.
연애
Well,
때 PVP 뭔가
at the last ball,
배우와 명예, 그리고 좀
I said we'd
다른
shine more of a
말씀하셔서
spotlight on the honor and
무게감들을
achievements
갖고
of
PVP 에
PvP players
적용하고 싶다는
and truly
말씀을 드렸는데
recognize the weight of their
7월에
efforts.
앞서 저희가 설명드렸던 PVP 패치들이
So,
마무리
when the
되면은
PvP related updates for July are more or less wrapped up,
대회요? 그것도 PVP
we'll be
요?
hosting a tournament to decide the strongest of each class.
tournament?
I ain't
Let's watch the
participating in
video.
that. I'm too weak. Rip, no Shadow Arena. All these changes and they won't bring back Shadow Arena. I don't understand why not. Like the one that was standalone is shut down. Boot it back up in BDO. Good one. Have all the files there. Like, come on. And Solaire's on like a dry patch. Just pop that out. Masterclass.
이게 모찌라면
Yeah.
Is it time to cook?
마스터
Yes.
클래스 그리고 영어로 V. 근데 뭐 이제 저희는 잠깐 거기 동막 이렇게 딱 지금 찍혀 있는 모습인데 뭡니까?
So,
네, 이거는
This
저희가 준비한 클래스 최강
is
마스터 클래스입니다.
our class championship, the Master Class. It's a tournament to crown the best of each class.
클래스의
So,
최강자전.
a class
이거
championship,
Mm.
왜
Yeah.
and there's this pen symbol.
아, 네,
In the
저번에
middle.
I'm
Right.
surprised they're
What does that
still
mean?
지금은 강화
Did they give out a code
That's
yet? I'm
pen
gonna go check
indeed.
Garmo.
We do have higher enhancement levels now up to deck. but in Black Desert, Praedio Tri-Tep pen is iconic. And pen is the V. It's the symbol of strength. That's why we put pen right in the center.
That makes sense. And so how will we crown the top adventurers for each class then? And can you tell us more about the format?
Sure. For example, Warriors will go up against other Warriors, Rangers versus Rangers, which will be 1v1 matches within the same class, until only one remains, the champion. Out of the 29 classes in our game, we will pick the best, the master, for each one. And with today's reveal of Wukong, that's now 30 classes altogether going forward. The class championship will live on under the name Masterclass, while 2v2 and 3v3 battles will continue in Arena of Arsha as usual.
So what are the requirements?
Since this is about finding the strongest of each class, entries will be accepted by class. However, not just anyone can enter. True to its name, only adventurers in the top 5% for gear score is in their class will qualify for Masterclass. And since the actual gear score will vary depending on when the tournament is held, we'll give you specific details as we accept signups. So, sum up eligibility is restricted by gear score, but the tournament will use designated equipment instead of everyone's own gear.
So is this like the
Please keep that in
segment?
mind.
So you need to be top 5% of your gear score in your class to enter, but the actual tournament, everyone uses the same gear, and I think that's pretty reasonable.
Every time we run an official tournament, this is a real dilemma. Conditions should be fair, but in MMORPG, gear is part of a player's skill, right? We've always wrestled with that, and we've got a lot of feedback on it too. But since the tournament is about deciding the very best of each class, we felt you should show both top skill and top gear. So these are the rules we've settled on.
I realize that I have this entire
Does this
line,
mean, since there's
so it's gonna
5%,
mute
that means the
all
participants
of the
will probably
talking.
differ based on each class.
Yes, as you said,
I'll have to bring
participation
the
will
VOD from
likely vary by class, and some classes may
From
have
the
less
other side.
competition. But as long as the rules are clear, we still believe it's meaningful to crown a master, regardless of how many players compete. Oh, and we did consider splitting Succession and Awakening, but in the end, we decided against it. That would have meant managing over 50 classes, which would be too much to handle. So for now, we'll stick to the tournament per class. And if the top 5% rule ends up creating big gaps in participation, we'll stay flexible and make adjustments as needed. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense.
These are just like guidelines for now,
Yeah.
not strict rules. But I think we're also curious about the rewards.
Well, I think we should watch a video first. Soon. Now.
It's a griffin. And they're actually riding on it.
Yes, that's
So,
right.
Do the winners really get to ride it?
Yeah, that's right. The winner of each class in the Masterclass tournament will receive an exclusive new mount, the Griffin. Only Masterclass winners can ride it, and they'll get to use it for a full year. Everyone will know you're the best of your class by just seeing it. It's a top-tier mount with standout performance, so please look forward to it.
That's a
Really good concept.
pretty crazy badge of honor, I think.
I think so
That's
as
like
well.
the ultimate flex. It's not,
See someone just drop
about
in
linking item. It's about
in a
parking
Dania
in a griffin.
with a griffin, just like, oh, bro, it's yours.
so special.
I'm out.
Collecting taxes with your griffin.
So exactly alongside the Griffin, we're preparing additional rewards like special titles, and if possible, we'd like to invite the winners to attend our next ball in person.
Oh, in-person invite as well.
Yeah.
So invitations to the next ball So like it's like, oh, you're
Yeah.
number one warrior, come on over.
That's gonna be
So
a
it's,
while.
it's like-
yeah.
But they are the best adventurers in both gear and skill, and they deserve the invitations, I think. So yeah. So when exactly is this tournament?
Actually, we're going to give it a bit more time before kicking it off. We've shared the rules and rewards today, but the tournament itself is planned for fall, likely around September or October. We've got major PvP updates coming in July, and Edania launching in August, so this schedule gives everyone time to enjoy those and get ready. Don't worry, we'll share the official dates in a future notice.
And this tournament isn't just in one region, right?
Of course, each region will host its own tournament, so there will be 30 masters crowned in every region.
But if there's 30 masters crowned in each region, couldn't maybe someday we'll see a showdown between each region's 30 masters to find the world's strongest?
That does really sound like a lot of fun. We'd have to see if it's actually doable. But if the day ever comes, we'd be just as thrilled.
Masters of Masters.
Masters of Masters.
Masters of Masters.
Whoopsie daisy.
Global
All right,
Master.
and I think that wraps up the Masterclass tournament announcement. If you're interested, it's time to start preparing.
To be fair, at least there's subtitles.
Black Desert, I think we've held a lot of PvP tournaments before, but I do think this one is on a whole other level. Like, to everyone watching, if you're skilled and confident to take on the challenge, this is your chance. This is your chance. But I think it's also time to move on to the next reveal. I think it's time for some cool summer news.
Oh yeah, actually, last winter we introduced new content like the snowboard. But this time, I'm sorry to say, we weren't able to prepare a brand new summer event. I know we are just as disappointed. Still, we'll be making the most of existing areas like Thermion and the Sea Palace to host our seasonal events.
It is, I think, a bit of a letdown, but understandable, I think.
That lady is like, can
But in
I?
return, I think there is one thing we all really want, and it has to be good, or else I think everyone's going to be a riot. So let's show them. Let's show them what it is.
Yes. I know exactly what you mean. Now it's time to reveal what everyone's been waiting for, the new summer outfits. Let's start with the video. Everyone, was this year's summer outfit, Summer Getaway. It features a beach robe, hot pants, and a bikini.
Last year's was Badaka, and that one was a big hit. But I think this one also will be just as popular.
After Badaka was released last year, a lot of adventurers shared how happy they were with it. So our art team really gave it their all for this year's design as well. Last year we had the Papu and Creo themed sets with lots of customization. This time the bikini is the base, and you can mix and match with other pieces to suit your own style.
I think even the hair looks brand new. It's pretty fresh and stylish, and there are multiple design options.
That's right. Male classes can go shirtless for a more laid-back beach look. And for Shai, we've brought out her signature cuteness.
All right, everyone, remember, this is a limited time release, only available this summer. Don't miss it.
Hold on, everyone. There's more. There's more.
There's
We got
more.
another summer outfit coming.
One more?
Yes, let's take a look at the video.
와, 굉장히 재기발랄하고
So
여름에 정말 많이
there are
볼
two
법한
outfits this year, two summer outfits.
Exactly. The second summer exclusive outfit with a sporty rash guard concept is called Ocean Spray.
겨울에는 눈보라, 여름에는 물보라로 준비했습니다.
Snowboard in the
Nice.
winter, duck fins in the summer. We have put a lot of details into props for this outfit. For female classes, you get goggles, ball caps, and also both one-piece and two-piece versions. Shoes include adorable duck fins and sandals, so you can mix and match for your perfect summer look. For male classes, you have shorts and long leggings to choose from. As for Shai, she gets a big water gun on her back and Croc-style shoes for that extra dose of cuteness.
Yes, this outfit looks great on its own, but what makes it extra special is that it also includes black because
For
it's
some of their
very
more
first
casual
fall
wear in BDOs,
Personally,
they actually
I
sold
love it
as
so much.
regular merch.
I hope you all have
Probably
fun
buy it.
styling it your own way.
네, 저희가
Unless they
이번에
do, and I
특별히
haven't
이제
checked.
캡도 저희
Possible.
검색방에서 처음 좀 제작한 거기 때문에
Yeah.
아마 기존 의상들은 잘 믹스 매치 해가지고 입으시면 좋겠습니다. 네, 잘
So,
입으셨으면
yes, as Nox
Yes.
said.
아니 뭐
It's,
비키니
I think
So
it's,
it's a
cool.
different
Yeah, it's
style.
a different vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a different
yeah.
vibe.
There's two different like
Right.
costumes for the
Yeah,
different
bikini.
vibes.
It's,
이게 사람마다
So,
좀 취향이
Chat,
있는데
you've seen both
멜시가
both
더
styles.
좋아하는 분도
Which
많을
do
것
you like
같다라는
better?
생각이 듭니다. 예. 여러분,
One or two, chat. One being the first one, two being the second.
I think
Whichever
I've
Although
best.
there's no big summer event, there's two outfits, guys.
Yeah.
네, 감사합니다.
Seen a lot of
이번
comments after the
바캉스는 바로
videos.
다음 주 7월 2일부터
The summer getaway outfit will be available from July 2nd to August 27th, while the ocean spray will be available from July 30th.
They're bringing out new class on the 2nd.
And I think that wraps up this year's new summer outfits. And with that, we've reached the end
it's the male
of all the
tamer.
updates we've had for you today.
앞에 나가서 한번 이야기를
Okay.
Let's
We're getting close to the end,
Luca.
chat.
let's
Yeah,
stand
you
up.
get
Which
the
means-
nimbus.
It's that time. It's that part
It's
of the
coming.
show, chat.
So from the
It
Eastern
is
Stone
so much
Chamber
fun.
to Adonia, there was quite a storm of announcements today. Now let's take a moment to
Offline
a summary
over
and
800.
have a look through all of them.
딱 에다니아가 박혀 있고요. 군항 보조모드기 보이고요.
At
자,
the
그리고
center,
왼쪽에 뭐 50과 바캉스
there's like
얘기가 쭉
the-
나왔었고 물보라도
Yeah, here's all like
here's
the
a
dates
timeline.
and
So you can
stuff
see
that
how
we're gonna get.
Adonia August 6th, July 30, you can see our outfits,
Yeah.
많은 분들이 좋아해 주셨습니다.
masterclass tournaments. You can see everything.
Dine
On
du
screen.
Ardunat.
There's Dine Arjunaut,
Yeah.
August 13th. Oh, that's such a tongue twister.
Yeah.
And I think, and there's also like the masterclass tournament in September.
I now understand why it's called Dad.
Yeah, I think people.
It took me a
yeah, I
while.
think people like
Yeah.
were very surprised.
Dine, Ardnot,
Oh,
dude.
you didn't know?
No, I was completely clueless.
Oh, the
Yeah.
first thing I said
Completely
to Nox
clueless.
was like,
Completely clueless.
Honestly, like the transition's so it's pretty crazy. Like
but I think I will say Dine Ardunat too.
our MC is now
Okay.
using that pun of Wansu's name again to make sure Wansu develops everything on time.
Delivers.
He's
W for one soon.
W for Wansu.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But it's not over yet, I think.
No.
Yeah, we need to,
It's almost over.
There's one more
Isn't it
thing.
time?
It's the time.
It's the time.
Gifts.
Of course. While it might not be as extravagant as last year's 10th anniversary ball, we've prepared a variety of useful items. They shouldn't be too unfamiliar, so I'll reveal them all at once.
이런 걸 되게 솔직하게. 네.
네, 그래서 이번에는 좀 반대로 양으로 좀 승부를 했는데요. 네.
Apparently, rather than like
그러니까 뭔가
extravagance,
Yeah, yeah,
it's just
yeah, yeah.
amount. Apparently.
For
Yeah,
this
yeah, yeah.
year's ball, we prepared items useful for everyone.
Hold on.
Not yet.
1
No,
second.
yeah, no,
We're
hold,
zooming.
hold.
Pause.
Oh, pause,
Spoilers.
pause. They're not unfamiliar.
Spoilers.
Here we go. Here we go.
한 판에 보여드립니다.
Here we go.
So
Oh, that's
all
a
of them
lot.
revealed.
아, 일단 뭐
Okay.
That's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Let's check them out.
크론성 만 개.
I see like a device of
Yeah,
box
that
plus
was-
300, plus
10,000
250,
stones.
3 hammers. I see 10,000 next to those Tron stones.
That box is a choice
don't
out
forget
of
the garment.
the Sovereign Hammer or the Charizard Hammer.
Yes.
일단 크론성
Oh, 10,000.
Primordial hammer.
아, 좋아요.
Yeah.
네, 이번에
Wow.
연회에서는
So for
Okay.
this year's ball, they prepared
Oh, we have 7.
useful items useful for everyone. That's like focus.
조원 300
there isn't anything crazy, but they're really generous in amount. The idea is we wanted to really show you guys a lot.
Yeah.
And this time we do have Advice of Axe plus 300 and 7 hammers. That's kind of the...
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
So we hope, wish everyone luck.
That's a lot of
To
hammers.
get the Dine Arduna Doom, I need the sensors.
Yeah. Yeah.
But usually, like, we know how we surely show rewards over time. But today we just like throw them all at once.
I think that's the name of the coupon, right?
And there's a coupon code on top.
The
journey
begins.
And I think this slowly brings us to an end to all our announcements at Heidel Ball 2025. I think before we wrap up,
Yeah.
I think our two presenters would like to share a few final words with our adventurers.
Okay.
So first, Wansu.
Wansu.
네, 오늘 연애 또 열심히 준비한다고 또 이렇게 해왔는데
Okay, so we put a lot of effort into preparing this ball and hope you enjoyed it. There's so much I'd like to say, but I believe the updates speak for themselves. We'll keep working hard until the next Calfian Ball. As always, thank you for your continued support, adventurers.
And Jasok.
And Jesok as well.
Thank you for listening to all what we had to share today. With the Edania update, we addressed some long-standing issues and shared the future direction of the game. We prepared truly, but still can't help but wonder if this is what you hope for. And if we manage to satisfy you even little, honestly, I'm both curious and a bit anxious. As you all know, we release weekly patches with also planning for long-term. Today's announcements are just one part of that bigger picture. These plans are made months, sometimes even years ahead. So there's always some...
그리고
wait.
이대로 끝내면 사실 뭐 보상 한 판 보여드렸지만 이대로
Oh, there's something more?
같아서
There's something more? One more? You think you're sad? What? Did you just say another 10,000 Kronstones?
Really?
Oh, okay.
Let's go.
He's like, sorry to interrupt.
Sorry,
Okay,
Jesok, I know you're
Okay,
doing
let's
your
go.
final speech, but here's another 10k
He's like, I need
Kronstones.
to show you up a bit.
I know you're doing your final speech, but here's another 10k. Carry on, please continue.
So, there's...
Oh, 1 second.
Oh my god!
Like, I think none of us even knew. Like, the MC is like flabbergasted. Like, what do you mean you're 10,000? Like, what are you doing?
10k times 2, 20k.
Well, I'm sure it's just like, I need to be the, I need to have the final word.
Jesok wasn't even finished, like, doing his speech. He was in his moment.
Yeah, I was in my moment as well.
Sorry, it is what it is.
Now for reals, I think it's time to end actually for reals now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, today we've gone through a lot of, so many updates, announcements, and it's time to truly wrap up. We've gone through Adania, mastered the Masterclass tournament. Yeah, chat, let us know what stood out to you most.
Yeah.
And we hope you know that at the heart of every journey, you've always been there.
Yeah.
You're the true hero of Black Desert Adventures. And thank you so much for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you at the next ball. But
Yeah.
thank you so much. Your support means a lot. And
Yeah.
Good luck to everyone who is going to enhance today.
Yeah, good luck to
Good luck.
everyone. Chat, I mean, to be fair, yeah, you have 20k Kronstones, but don't forget the hammers. Like, think about how many Kronstones you get for the hammers on whatever you're attempting. That's a lot. That's insane. Only got 4 hammers? There was more than 4
No,
hammers.
seven hammers.
thank
Some
you.
of them, okay, if you're using the coupon, chat,
All right, it's time. I think we're.
if you're using a coupon, it's so basically there is some stuff that isn't going to be like
There's
not
some
everything
stuff
that was
is
shown.
login rewards.
Yeah,
separate.
some of it's login rewards.
Yeah, so separate.
So the things that you saw on the right hand side were mostly,
Just check out our website notice.
But
You'll
go
see it
check
there.
our website notice.
And don't forget to check the recap as well on
Yes.
social media or website.
Yeah.
Oh,
And make sure to share us
So,
your thoughts.
like I said,
And yeah,
about
thank you.
two-thirds
That
Yeah.
wraps up our stream.
thirds good,
But
1/3
chat,
bad.
let us know
Yeah.
what you all think. What
Nobody
you're all
cares
looking
about the
forward to
ocean
most.
content. Everybody would
We're so
rather have
excited
Shadow
to hear
Arena
from you
back.
guys what you're looking forward to most.
The
and
APDP changes.
thank you very much for joining
then
again. We
everybody's
hope we
kind
did
of on the
a-
fence with that
we
one. We'll
did a
see how
good
it
job
actually feels, and they
explaining
might end up
clearly
backtracking
to
if
you
it's really
guys
bad and
what
gets bad
is
reviews.
coming up in the future of Black Desert. Thank you all so much. We'll see you soon.
Nobody
have
really
fun
cared
with
about the
Wukong on the
costumes.
Global Lab. Have fun with Wukong
No one's
next
really
week.
looking forward to the
And enjoy
shrine
the
for
rest of your
the,
weekend. Goodbye
off
from all of
weapons.
us.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
There were a couple of other things, but I'd have to actually quick review. Get it right, but just those alone is almost about 1/3 of what it is. There's only a couple more things that were kind of like on the fence about that. Oh, we don't know until it happens, but the UI modification, the map modifications that they want to tweak, and is that going to hinder our performance? We already have performance and stutter problems in BDO, and them cluttering the map or changing things with the map that we're so used to, could probably hit our performance a little bit, because that's just how it always is. Okay. Good morning, Pwog. It's the end of the whole... Well, you caught the end of the Heidel Ball. I just wanted to be here for it. I got my daily done. I was here for it. It was just the shortest stream. I just wanted to redip, and now I know my schedule. The class is on the 2nd. So I get to farm for Mana Pot until then. But today was just like a late... Just wanted to be here for the Heidel Ball. And unfortunately, I'm pretty sure I had it on the wrong track this entire time. I'm pretty sure it's just gonna mute the entirety of the Heidel Ball. You'll only hear me talking. But at least it had subtitles, so I guess it won't be that bad. It'll just be very quiet. Hopefully the other site doesn't have that problem, and I can pull the entire VOD from there. That'd be great. But we'll see. So again, you caught me at the end. I just wanted to be here just for this. And I will... guys, later. In an app.